Welcome, misfits, to this night's episode of Skeptic Bible Study. Tonight, God lays down another big helping, more, of priestly rules, including guidelines for what their, something stuck in my throat, for what their slaves can eat, along with the kitchen specifics for how a deity likes their animal sacrificed.
How to set up your kitchen. God's
How
way.
to set up exactly Yahweh style. So come join James W.
Let's do
and
it.
myself, Amy Newman, as we get our Leviticus on.
Won't be able to do that too much longer. Almost, yeah. But, Leviticus is so amazing and so full of wondrous insight that we'll probably have to keep going back to it from time to time. There's just so much in there.
And I was going to say, it's packed full of so much wisdom, like you were saying, when you have to know who you need to stone to death. Good specifics.
Family relationships. Oh,
exactly.
I shouldn't sleep with my aunt or uncle. Nice of him to tell us that.
I know. Nice. Wait. I didn't know that. Hold on. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, mother and father on the list. You guys knock those off. You can't do that either. So, or animals.
But yeah, we're almost done Leviticus, which is crazy. Yeah, no animals, no tattoos. No, all sorts of, no shellfish. Remember, people, it is an abomination. Three times did they go over it.
Executing disobedient children. That's
yes. You gotta get right in there and just go once they become disobedient.
Absolutely.
And all right, if you're feeling fancy, everyone, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe. Plus,
all three.
If you want to see baby, I like it. Plus, if you want to see our premieres or join our live streams, hit that reminder bell icon to all. Boom, boom, boom.
Do it.
And with that, we're going to hand it over to Gilbert to explain what we're about to read.
Some of you may be new to this abomination of a study. These schmucks begin by reading each episode's chapters along with the annotations on the side for funsies. The hosts are a tiny bit special, so don't mind if they butcher or replace everybody's name with something completely horrible or stupid. However, the gibberish that spews forth from their face holes will still be an attempt at reading this book from cover to cover, which I'm sure has tons of wisdom or an insight on whether we can or cannot put things up our butt. If you have time to waste screaming internet memes at random strangers, then join the Discord. Or scream at them personally at your YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch streams. Finally, don't forget to support these idiots doing more lame shenanigans at Amy Newman's Patreon page. All right, schmucks, back to you.
I guess that's us. We're the schmucks, right?
I guess we're the schmucks. Thanks, Gilbert. That's right. If you would like to become a member of our Patreon, you can at patreon.com/Amy Newman, which helps us make even more fun content and including awesome Patreons like summoning, I feel like, at least a third of the Marvel Universe and at least Fat Thor and the Sexy Thor all in one. Thank you so much, KO Champ.
Thank you, Coach Sam.
Woo-hoo. And Moonlight says hi, too. Hi,
Moonlight's going to damage your blinds there.
I know. Probably within a second.
I know. Yeah.
But also, we are making the Atheist Round Table and connecting ourselves in the Atheist Network group. Thank you so much, Oz. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Oz.
And we are normalizing atheism. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Sending love out there. And,
doing our part.
Right. Yeah. Doing our part. But not just. We also have my cat wanting to look outside the window, but also Ian Davenport.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. All right. I gotta do jazz hands.
Yeah, right behind the spaghetti monster flag.
Yes, believe.
My cat's more insidious than that. He just broke the blind, so yeah. They don't need to be moved anymore. He just ripped them. So you got lucky. My cat broke the blinds off, so he doesn't need me to look.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, I can get through this. Just keep on working at it.
Yep. Keep on doing it. Eventually, the plastic will break.
Aw, they just want to look outside. Little bit of property damage, but also,
yeah, that's what deposits are for, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But also, 3 princesses in one. Thank you so much, Diana Smith. Woohoo! But also,
here we go. Get ready for it.
Parts. But also, we figured it out, folks. We've hacked through the system this time. I feel lucky. Here we go. A grumpy old. No. You know what? Hold on. That definitely sounds like keys typing. All right, let's try it this time. A grumpy old. Yeah. Oh, damn you, YouTube.
That was actually people on Bob Larson's channel sending the emojis for the devil. Remember?
Damn it. God
damn
it, Bob Larson.
That's how you do exorcisms. You have your YouTube members who pay money to you send emojis, and that, makes the devil want to leave. Helps with the exorcism anyway.
Remember, emojis equals no hell. Don't want to go to hell, no emojis. I think that's how it works. But what if we want to go to hell? Send emojis?
You can send the emojis anyway and then still go to hell.
There we go. We're doing it.
We'll work it out for you. Just keep paying the money. And we'll make it work.
Only at the girl dick level, the commander level, and the girl dick.
The top emblem, yeah.
We have to do Bob Larson again.
Yeah,
also,
we've been giving Pastor Bob a little break lately, but I'm sure he's got some wonderful content.
Yeah, exactly. So just like that, what was it? Alien demons? I'm trying to remember that exact string of sentences.
Yeah. Alien and witchcraft demons. He also did a video about Marvel demons. I guess the character Venom is demonic. So
really?
So if you have watched any of those kind of movies, you probably need to go over to Bob Larson's website and arrange an exorcism with him. I mean, $2,000 or $3,000 ought to be enough to, let him get the demons out of you. So, yeah.
Wait, no, that's just Aliens. Good movie. All right, that comes out through here. Chest. All right. But also, we are looking back in time and across the pond and sending love. Thank you so very much, Pat. Woohoo! Thank you, Pat.
Yeah. He said he might be in stream tonight if the timing works out, but hopefully he'll make it. It might be a little too late for him.
Everybody in chat. But also, we are assembling the entire skeptical team. Dun, 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 dun. Pastel. It's like Power Rangers, but for skeptics.
Thank you, Dale Pastel.
Woohoo! Thank you so much, Dale. But also, you mean the world to us. Yeah. Oh, disciples. The whole notion of just prophets and what was the words you just used? He had 12
disciples, apostles.
Disciples. That I find the whole notion of apostles to be once again weird. I know that it's been so normalized. It is just part of a lot of Western culture. It kind of snuck its way in there sometimes. Mm-hmm. But no, just like prophets, it's a little bit weird. That
group of select people, that God will talk to, but he won't talk to anybody else. He'll just talk to them. And you just have to take their word for it because they know God.
They're like the middle line. If Jesus is like to God, you could be like, oh, I knew an apostle. Well, who's the apostle? Well, he knows the Son of God. He's like the buddy. Oh, okay.
Well, actually,
a guy knows a guy. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
So the Catholic and the Orthodox churches, they maintain a line they call apostolic succession. So all their bishops have known a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who knew one of the original apostles. That's where
Isn't
they
that
get
what
their
the
authority.
whole miracles, like it has to be a direct line or something? Or not, what is it called? When a saint.
Saints are people who have died and we presume them to be in heaven, meaning that we know they were saved.
Have a direct line.
No. Okay, we know they were saved and they're not in purgatory anymore. If you're a Catholic, they've led such a good life that their stay in purgatory was so short or nothing at all that they're already in heaven with God. And then you can pray to them because they're up there with God, so they're closer to God. So if you pray to them and they ask God for something, maybe God will do it. I don't know.
Okay, it's like the all-star list.
Yeah, basically.
Straight up there.
The heavenly court. Like there's God and then there's all the people in the throne room and mostly the clowns and the jesters out there, Yeah.
It gets very canon, very a little bit Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I like that stuff. Yeah. Naturally, as a geek, the funny thing is that many people in this world take it literally. That is the... Yeah. All right, but also... Scott, the lead hyena, coming down.
God, dude. Thank you, Scott.
Included. Yeah. Thank you so very much, Scott. And last but not least, thank you so much, Regos. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm also talking Shakespearean. Thank you, Regos. Woohoo!
It's guaranteed to happen at some point. We'll go into Shakespeare mode.
Exactly. The Bible goes into Shakespeare mode naturally. Sending love to our Patreons. You make this content possible. However, if this is your first time in our Skeptic Bible study, let's explain the categories and jump into tonight's chapter.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Before we begin, I'm going to start by going over the specific Bible we'll be reading, along with some helpful category marks. Categories, you say? Why, yes I do. You see, we're going to be reading from the Skeptic's Annotated Bible, an entire King James Bible lovingly fawned over by a skeptic who decided he would add his own notations. These are little flagpoles of sanity put in use to remind us that, hey, maybe slavery is evil, including categories like absurdity, injustice, and cruelty, but also a good amount of intolerance, contradictions, and conflicts with science or history. That doesn't mean it's not packed full of misogyny, false prophecy, and some questionable biblical family values. Now, we won't skip the good parts that the Bible has, only that these passages seem far fewer in number than any priest or pastor seems to suggest. So without further ado, won't you come join the Skeptic crew?
Woo-hoo!
All right, we got everybody in the house. We got Oz, we got Nate, we got the Tart crew here, the Tang crew.
The whole Skeptic crew. And with that, welcome everyone to tonight's Skeptic Bible Study. On the last episode, Wizards, Death, and Priestly Rules. God commanded us to hunt wizards and witches, put gays and others to death, and
a lot of people to be killed at that time, now that you think about it, right?
Yeah, it was amazing how just a single line, like here and there, got how many thousands of people murdered in cold blood?
Many thousands, yeah. But I mean, at least it's the worst of the worst, like the most evil people possible, like young children and, you know, people playing Dungeons and Dragons. I guess that's like witchcraft.
Ooh, yeah.
Wizards, women riding around on brooms outside, crazy shit.
And don't have tattoos. Can't be part of the club. That big Jeebus tattoo you have right here, and right here. Yeah, that actually might mean you can't be in the special club. But that's the Old Testament.
Jesus will be mad at you, yeah.
Exactly. It's cafeteria here. This looks good. This looks good. Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And offered us our first scoop priestly rules. In this episode, don't blemish my sacrifice. Ugh. God lays down a second scoop of priestly rules, including even more
rules.
When you thought there couldn't be any more rules for priests, God was like, hey, I kind of want to be a little pedantic. And then he did it. Including guidelines for what their slaves can eat, which is kind of funny if you would think a book didn't endorse slavery, but
we got a Gizmo in the audience tonight.
Hi, Gizmo. Oh, what's that now? Along with the kitchen specifics for how a deity likes their animal sacrificed. So how are you tonight, James? And are you ready to get your Leviticus on?
Absolutely. Like, God is like that when you go out to a restaurant and the server is at the table that came in right before you, and they're there for like a half an hour getting their order out. They're asking all kinds of crazy questions. They're basically taking some shit that's not even on the menu and weaving it and twisting it, and the poor server's just struggling to try to write everything down, and you know that no matter how it is, it'll be wrong when it gets there because it could never be right. Yeah. And then they'll whine and complain all the way through the meal. So yeah, that's kind of like how God is.
I know. Gotta kvetch. And all right, everyone. Welcome to the book of Leviticus, chapter 22. Only a few more chapters left, and we can put book 3 on the shelf. Moving along.
Only 62 to go after that. 63 to go, yeah.
Oh, but I feel waist deep in now. And I will say, which is funny, all those books left, and just think of, I feel like chucking Genesis, because really nothing of value comes out of Genesis. But all the Jews and the Christians and the Muslims and the blah, blah, blah,
fake history.
Like, but that's how it got started. How can you have the this and the that? And it's like,
Well, that sounds like a problem for them, not for us.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys figure out.
Yeah, you guys figure that out.
If the Garden of Eden didn't happen, how is there sin? Why do we need to be redeemed? What's going on? I don't know. You guys got to figure that shit out. I can't help you there.
Yeah, I don't know. Be a better dad next time? I don't know.
Just keep sending the money to the pastor. That's it. Just keep on sending the money. That's all that matters. Yeah. Just keep buying the stuff, sending the money, and it'll be okay.
Or if you're in a the prosperity gospel, just send your next paycheck and just think you'll get it back twice in return. Or at least it sounds good on like a Post-it note or an ad.
Right. Send your money to Creflo Dollar, the prosperity preacher. Yes, these people know no sense of irony when Creflo Dollar, driving a Rolls Royce, wants you to send him your rent money and let God deal with how your rent gets paid.
James, it smells like Jesus.
Send it to the guy with the private jet and the Rolls Royce.
That's right, baby.
And even if you don't get it back in this lifetime, don't worry about it. You'll get it back after you're dead.
Exactly.
I promise you'll get it all after you're dead.
Exactly. You'll get it up there in the big pearly gates with Mama and Papa and... I was going to say Scooby-Doo, but I don't know anyone who actually names their dog Scooby-Doo. So
infinite return on investment. Yeah, infinite return on investment. There you go.
But okay, everyone. We are in the book of Leviticus, chapter 22. More rules for priests. What is on the menu? First up, we're laughing. We're having a good time. But not only are we laughing and having a good time. Okay, I'm just going to go like this. But actually, no, I can't do that. I can't shame. I was going to say it's unjust. But I can't shame. What is it?
Can the people in chat
even say it?
Can they see the text? Because it's coming up real blurry on my end.
Is it coming up real blurry?
Yeah,
and I will say I was able to get my computer back today, and it is crashing a lot. So I'm still on the laptop, but I love you all. And what I really should do is let you hook in so you can see the comments and shit. But can you see everything on there now? And we're moving on.
It's really blurry. It's like out of focus. I don't know. See if the people in chat.
How about bigger?
That's better. Yeah, that's better for me.
All right. More rules for priests. It's not just that it's funny, but also it's a little unjust. You gotta be a little unjust. What would it be? But
it would be just, and we're not going to see that very often in the Bible.
Exactly. It wouldn't be fair. Or I guess it would be fair. Oh, well, deal with it. Not only that, but language, please. The Bible is cussing.
But if it seemed just to us, you see, our minds, our moral compass is just so degraded. It's so far off from God's that if something seems just to us, it's probably unjust to God. So that way, when he does things that look very unjust to us, they're actually just to him. I don't know.
That's right. You see, James, we can't understand the 5D chess that God is playing.
Exactly.
It may only look sadistic, evil, and cruel, but
he tells us
it could be
he's
differently. It could be.
He tells us he's a good God. We can't understand it. We're just gonna believe it. And if he decides to kill a bunch of kids for no reason, well, we just have to trust that he had a good reason for it, even if we can't understand it. That too.
Kill some kids, everyone on the planet, harden Pharaoh's heart. We got it all down. But it sells, baby. We got sex.
More sexy time with God.
Good old sexy time. And it's not just sex, but, you know, we really like some good old tribalism. It's really not a religion unless you can have an in-group and an out-group. Because, I mean, what would the point of being the in-group be then? I mean, come on.
Yeah, if everybody's in, there's no out. I mean, exactly. That would be boring.
That'd be boring. Boring.
In fact, sex does sell, and we did figure out a way actually for Amy to be able to have sex with Jesus Christ himself.
Dun dun dun! I think I was seeing that in Discord. Was that the tapestry?
Yeah.
I only saw half, but I think you were alluding at me having sex with the Shroud of Turin, which I think might make Tangelo upset, but it was a good time, so forgive me.
And sending people to Catholic churches around the country to collect the communion wafers and then molding that into an effigy of Jesus, because it would be his actual flesh, as the church has always taught.
That's true. If that's his flesh, you could kind of like mold it. I never even thought of that.
Mix it with the wine, which is the blood, and mold it into a representation of Jesus. There you go.
I feel like that is how an episode of Full Metal Alchemist starts. Nonetheless, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But not only that,
and you would definitely go to hell if you weren't already after that.
Yes, I'm trying to sell timeshares in hell. Right next to the Lake of the Damned. It's beautiful if you love people screaming relentlessly.
Is that where all the non-Christian babies are being tortured?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, not only that, that's where the Christian babies of the other sect that's not your sect.
Oh, like just Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, the Pentecostal, whoever's not you.
Little bit of a schism. Right to hell. Straight there. Boom, baby. But also, the Bible loves to remind us that it's a feminist textbook, or at least that it shows us that women have their place normally under men in the Bible, but hey, they have a place, so that's cool.
I mean, you should probably keep their mouth duct taped shut at all times just to make sure they don't inadvertently say something.
Exactly. That way, it's just like the goats. You don't want your goats yammering. I don't know why you would duct tape a goat, but let's just pretend it goes with that. And women, just right over there. Right over there. It's biblical. No, it's not. Anyway, James, did you know I was taking a look at the Bible lately? And you know the crazy thing about it? This may be our first time doing this bit. I hate to even bring it up to you. What do you think about there being a contradiction in the Bible?
I mean, we haven't got to that Ken Hovind video yet where he goes over all the claims of contradiction. So I'm sure it'll clear it up, and he'll clear everything up in that
video.
Be
cleared up. Exactly.
So I'm not too worried about it. The Christians, they don't seem to be bothered by it. They just figure out a way to make it work. Mental gymnastics, well, guess what? The Olympics are coming up. They could do gymnastics for days.
That's right. You just got to do a somersault here, here, and here. You can avoid all those lovely contradictions.
But just keep paying the money. Keep sending the money to Pastor Dollar.
And the Lord Bob spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron Ra and to his sons, or at least the ones that I haven't killed yet.
That are still alive,
because that kind of happened a chapter or two ago. Okay. And that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, Shmishmael, kind of vague, and that they profane not my holy name in things which they hallow unto me. I am the Lord Bob. In fact, you should say unto them, whosoever heebie-jeebie, of all your seed, just say your children. You really got to say your seed? among your generations. I mean, it makes it just seem like you're
It's
just
more poetic.
I guess so. It gives me, I guess that's just my brain. That goeth onto the holy things, which the children of Israel Shmishmael hollow back, girl, onto the Lord Bob.
The holy things.
The holy things.
Very descriptive, though.
Yes. Well, I was going to read the annotations. I'll get through it, but it was just like, it's so friggin' just don't curse me. Just all that to say, which the children of having his uncleanness upon him, that soul stone shall be cut off from my presence, a little bit different from essence in the last episode. Our midnight ranting. I am the Lord Bob. All right, what? God said to Moses, say this to Aaron Ra and his sons. Why can't you just say it? You're a god. Stay away from holy things while you have your uncleanness upon you, or you'll be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. Why does he have to keep on saying that over and over again?
Aaron Ra is the high priest. Why can't God just talk to him?
Yeah. Does he not have the DL? He doesn't have the hookup?
Is he always refer to himself in the third person? I mean,
God is not hungry. God maybe a little.
God is not mocked.
God, well, I love that line. Can I tell you how much I love that line? Because it normally comes generally right after they were mocked and right before that God gets mocked again. So I just love that line. It is easily disproven.
It's it's not a good prediction. It doesn't hold up very well, right?
All right, Yahweh. Lightning bolts, rain. Don't
worry, you'll get it. I'll punish you after you're dead.
Oh, that's right.
You'll be really sorry. You'll be really sorry.
Yeah. We'll get you after you're dead. Oh no.
Have you heard
keep on doing
Ken Hovind, like after somebody dies, like after Stephen Hawking dies, he'll be like, oh, Stephen Hawking, he didn't believe in God when he was here, but he believes in him now. Let me tell you what. Where's he at now? He's met God.
Which is both a threat and both fucked up because, well, increasingly fucked up because it's like now you have the evidence and you will burn. What was the test? Believing or having any knowledge of you. But now you have knowledge of me. The one time you actually for sure have knowledge is when the torture
it's too late
forever starts. But
too late.
Loves
Sorry.
You.
Yeah.
I feel my Georgie coming through me.
He loves you so much, Amy. He loves
you so much. He's going to burn you forever. What man... All right, we get into it hot. Soever of the seed, I'm still liking it, of Aaron Ra is a leper. What?
Oh.
Or have...
That's the flesh runner. We're back to flesh runner.
Oh my God. He's a flesh runner.
Yeah. Bruce Willis in Flesh Runner.
Back in time, biblical style.
Actually, sounds more like a Nicolas Cage, one of his B movies that he does. Because
it does. I've been loving Nicolas Cage. What was there was a really good one. That was like almost like a Five Nights at Freddy's. Though they hate that comparison, I think. But it was amazing. You should watch that. And now Nicolas Cage is coming out with a new movie called Pig. I just saw the trailer yesterday, which is about him trying to save his truffle pig who got stolen. So, Nick Cage.
Wow. Sounds like Operation Dumbo Drop with Danny Glover.
Yeah. He shall, it went, once again, my emotions, is a leper or have a running issue. They really didn't explain what that was a chapter or two ago, but they went through like a whole thing on what to do if someone's flesh is running. Panic. He shall not eat of the holy things, like that tree, until he be clean. He be clean, yo. And whoso toucheth, heebie-jeebies, and whoso toucheth, like the thing down there, just anywhere, anything. Oh, it answers it right there. Toucheth anything. Thank you, Bible. That is unclean by the dead, or a man whose seed goeth from him. That sounds like an ejaculation. I am just putting that out there. I was being coy before, but a man whose seed go from him. Come on, Bible.
And remember, if it goes on to the woman, then she's unclean too. So.
Oh, and the Bible has like a major cootie issue with menstruation. Another way you know this was completely written by men. Like 2 different chapters. I'm like, oh God, she's bleeding. What should we do?
What do we do? She can't be in the house. Make her sleep outside in the shack.
What you should do is invent chocolate. And all right, moving along. And whosoever toucheth any creeping thing, hi brain bug. I can't help myself. Whereby he may be made unclean, or a man. Oh, make a man out of this textual concept in the Bible, of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he hath. The soul stone, which hath touched any such, shall be unclean. We get until even, but not odd, and shall not eat of the holy things unless he wash his flesh with that water. That's it? Water? Okay. That water. So if a son of Aaron is a leper, very specific issue for Aaron Ra's sons, but okay, has a running issue, has touched an unclean dead thing, has touched a man whose seed has gone from him. So it's not even his seed? It's about touching a man whose seed has gone from him? I mean, I'm open-minded, but I'm just asking what's going on here.
How does that happen exactly without violating the Leviticus rules we just heard about?
Oh my, I don't know. Whatever they do in medieval grinder, it's fine. He is unclean until the evening and shall not eat the holy things. The holy things? I'm sure they explain that to us, but that's pretty vague.
He is like the most unclean ever.
Ugh.
He hasn't showered.
And that really does seem to be. They just want him to take a shower. Whole chapter. Could have been like, look, buddy. Also, wait, leprosy with water? Well, am I still here? I don't know if James DC'd or I DC'd. I'm going to keep on doing jazz hands. I'll hold on for 1 second until I can hear, and I'll say hi to everybody in chat. We're having fun. We are reading the book of Leviticus, which is the 3rd chapter, 3rd book of the Bible. Giving love to everybody in chat. We are sharing so much wisdom. And because I can see chat and show comments, look at that. There we go. Having fun, everyone. Woohoo! Sending love to Robert and Aunt Jur and Randolph and Blaster Master and God equals the square root and Skywatcher and Jamie Russell, Bob Sadler. And all right, in a second, I'm going to go back into Leviticus. Well, I will travel through. I think James is currently selling timeshares in hell, which is what our part-time job is. And so I'm going to let James connect, and I'm just going to go back in, and we're going to go have some Leviticus fun. Woohoo! And I'm sending love to all of you. And I will say, once we are done the chapter, we are going to be opening up for the open mic so you can tell us all the wisdom that you have been hearing, or if you feel like we've been getting it wrong, you could be like, hey, James, Amy, this is the real thing. You got to understand in the context right here. And so I'm going back into the Bible. Do. Sending love to all of you. I'll wait for James to actually get to change the layout when he joins, but I'm going to start reading because we've been having fun. So, where were we? The soul stone, which hath touched any such shall be unclean until even, but not odd, and shall not eat of the holy things unless he wash his flesh with water. I wanted to repeat that because once again, leprosy, water. Like, I didn't realize at first I was making a joke. Like, that didn't seem like too bad. I don't think that's going to cure that. I don't think that's going to be gone by the end of the night. But thanks, God. That was a good tip. And when the sun is down, like the Lion King, he shall be clean. Oh, that's how it works. Oh, good. And shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is food. Well, that's good. You know, if it wasn't food and you were eating kind of something else, like, I don't know, where's my rock, buddy? Oh, God, I love my God. Yeah, I don't think that would work. That which dieth of itself, or is torn with beasts, those lions are ripping from shreds, he shall not eat to defile himself with. I am the Lord Bob. But after the sun has gone down, he is clean and can eat the holy things. A priest may not eat an animal that dies of natural causes or is torn by beasts. That would defile him. Why? That just seems a little bit random, but okay. More purity test. There shall no stranger danger shall eat of the holy thing. Oh my. A sojourner of the priest class from World of Warcraft, or an hired servant. Oh, I got slavery stuck in my throat again. Oh, sorry. Bible endorses slavery. Feels good. Okay, got it out. Shall not eat of the holy thing. But if the priest buy any soul stone with his money, you can do that? Even biblically? He shall eat of it. And he that is born in his house, not the awesome TV series, they shall eat of his meat. Oh, baby. Will they? But if a priest buys a... What's that word? The slave shall eat the holy things, no matter what friggin'. I know. Maybe it's this interpretation. I just like that we got to eat his meat, though. At least it was worth it in the end. If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger danger, she may not eat of an offering of the holy things. If a priest's daughter is married to a stranger, she may not eat the holy things. Ah, lovely. Just push those strangers out. But if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced and have no child, and is returned unto her father's house as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat. I'm sorry, Bible. You're making me sound dirty. I know, I'm sure there is a non-dirty interpretation, but there shall be no stranger eat thereof. But if a priest's daughter is widowed, divorced, has no child, really weird, axioms to include. But okay, as returned to your father's house or is young, she may eat of her father's meat. Is this I'm trying to wrap my mind around holy meat. What does it do? There is no heaven yet. The Jews don't have that. What the hell are they eating the holy meat for? Okay. I have to finish it. I can't help it. And if a man, baby, eat of the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part there unto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing. Just realized I might have to add James back. And there we go.
Here we go.
Whew, I've been telling you, James, you missed so much wisdom. So much.
I bet I was back there for a little bit. I heard about eating the father's meat.
What the hell are we talking about?
Holy meat.
I can make jokes, but what is holy meat? Is there a purpose to holy meat?
I don't know. So if your daughter, if she gets married, but it doesn't work out and she comes right back home, she can eat her father's food at the table, but nobody else is allowed to eat his food. He can't invite anybody else over. I don't know where the Bible's trying to go with that.
No stranger danger. Okay. And I feel like this is almost a take. Every once in a while, you feel like chapters where I feel like the Christians or the Jews can be like, this is free will. But it's it's a God telling you that if you should only sacrifice things willing to me. It's that's still a little bit sus.
But make sure you don't bring any strange fire.
Yeah, no strange
fire. You know
fire.
What happens when people bring strange fire?
Yeah, they get lit, and not the good kind. And all right, if a man eats the holy things unwittingly, he must restore it to the priest plus 20%. Okay.
All right.
And they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel Shmishmael, which they offer up unto my main man, the Lord Bob. Or suffer them to date a bear, though they can be cute, the inequity of the trespass when they eat their holy things, for I, the Lord, do sanctify them. I have to let kittiness out.
It happens. Well, fortunately, this doesn't look like we're going to go on too much longer in this chapter. We're only going to be doing one chapter tonight, then we'll open it up. Because Amy has to work early in the morning, so we're only doing one chapter tonight, and then we're going to open up those
I am
gates.
actually waking up in 5.5 hours, which is crazy. Woohoo! We're having fun. And they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel Shmishmael. Okay, we read about a bear.
A bear, yeah.
It's okay. They look good when they're out, good furry chest when they eat their holy things. Okay. When
Mr.
they
Batman,
eat their holy things. Oh, I bet he does. I can't even imitate his little ending saying. I just love it so much. Prepare to perish. Goodbye, sir, or whatever. I can't even, it's so fast.
You're on your way to hell. You're on your way to hell. Repent to perish. Bye.
You can tell that he has done it like 1,000 times. And yet it's so like, I don't want to say evil, but because the evilness is what has made him make that passage. But it is basically like, repent or you're gonna burn. It is like a veiled threat that's just so fast.
Well, you can tell he's lost a lot of arguments, because if that's his only response is, well, I don't have anything better to say, but after you die, my God's going to burn you, so then you'll know I'm right.
Yeah, that unfalsifiable thing, then you'll know I'm right.
Yeah, when you're dead and God lights your ass up, then you'll know it.
And all right. And the Lord... Wait, did I do trespass? Yep. And the Lord Bob spak, and he was like, say it, don't spray it. On to Charlton Heston, who's still looking good, still looking spry. Heston. Speak unto Aaron Ra, he says, and to his sons, and unto all the children of Ishmael Shmishmael, and say to them, whatsoever heebie-jeebies of the house of Israel, or of the stranger dangers in Israel Shmishmael, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, not a few of them, but all of them, and for all his free will offerings, which they will offer unto the Lord Bob for a burnt offering.
Nope.
Ye shall offer at your own accord with a male without blemish, of the beeves, of the sheep, or of the goats. But whatsoever hath a blemish, that shall ye not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you. I love it.
Okay. It's
not even a blemish.
Well, actually, on our last stream, we had one of our regular viewers make a heave offering unto God.
But we're sending him love. In fact, I think I saw Marshall in chat, or did I? At least in Discord chat.
He was in Discord, yeah.
And okay. And so whoever offereth a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord Bob to accomplish his vow, or a free will offering, I did read, in beeves or sheep, in Beavis or Butthead or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein.
Yeah, that's Soldier of Science. He does the Beavis and Butthead.
It's a good goat. I'm not saying it's not a bad goat. It's just that, I kind of see a blemish. And I'm like kind of a god. So
There's like that freckle on its ball sack right there. And that is just not going to fly. That is not going to fly.
No.
That freckle on that scrotum. I have checked its genitals over and over again. I am the Lord your God.
I am the Lord your God. I have to say it over and over. I'd forget, apparently.
Who brought you out of the land of Egypt. I also got you guys in the land of Egypt to begin with, but I did get you out.
Exactly. Picky. Okay, so just to make sure we're not being crazy, God said to Moses, say this to Aaron and his sons and all the Israelites, willingly offer to me an unblemished male of the cows, sheep, or goats, has to be male. But don't offer me any animal with a blemish. I freaking hate that.
A female animal. I mean, what yeah. You have to bring like 20 of them to equal one male sacrifice, you know?
I was about to read perfect, but it's like, why? What is with the perfect? And whoever offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord Bob, he's such a fancy lord, to accomplish his vow until, he kind of breaks it on like, it was like a cruise, but it's complicated.
They had iron chariots.
Yeah. Or a free will offering in the Beavis and Butthead, or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. I just have to read that because it's perfect? Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Like me. I am God, I'm perfect, so my offering must be perfect. Just like back when we played that game with Moses where he had to hold his arms up for the thing so that they could win, and even though it was like hours long, and
that was
other
weird.
People were holding his arms
Moses,
up. Because
once again, if you think this is just a fedora atheist moment, I'll give you the context. There was a time where God was like, no, Moses, lift your hand up, and they won't be able to. I'm trying to think how it went exactly. It's like as long as he kept his hand raised,
they'll be winning.
They'll be winning. If it falls down, then that's magic. I mean, that's that friggin' magic. And I know the apologetic is basically, well, with God, anything's possible. But that is like, in storytelling, that is just deus ex machina. That is just plot armor. Something has to get you to act 3.
I mean, it's just like, okay, we get it. Holding somebody's arms up for hours on end would be really uncomfortable position to be in, but for some reason that makes God allow them to win. So because Moses is putting himself in an uncomfortable position, then yeah.
It's also one of those stories that if I have not been reading the Bible, I would have never known about. The atheists don't talk about it, the theists don't talk about it. No one cares about it. Except for, I can't say that. Our lovely viewers love it, and we are sending so much to you. But it's just such, isn't it? It's just all these, we argue about the Tower of Babel and the stuff. Those are the things, the hot takes. We got to go talk about the 10 Commandments.
The Tower of Babel.
But,
the Exodus. Yeah.
The guy who pulled out of a woman and God smote him. Once again, not tipping a fedora. It happened. I swear I'm not hallucinating. God killed him. Why did God
killed
kill
somebody
him?
Last time? I forget what. I forget what it was, but I remember he killed somebody like that.
Just a weird God. He also goes by many names, and many of them are not flattering names if you want to kind of prove that you're the God of love or peace or whatever the fuck.
Hi, jealous. That's
jealous.
My nickname.
He says I'm the God of war.
A war, yeah, God of war. A war god. Not the Prince of Peace.
Not the Prince of Peace. Not here to send you many hearts. I am here to send you hearts.
To kill people, kick ass, and take names.
He is. He said. Now he gets foiled a lot, way more than should be possible for an all-powerful creator of the universe. Nonetheless, they're
a stiff-necked people, so they keep thwarting God's plans, because they're so stubborn. And
not a fedora moment. They just said stick-neck people, and they kept on overcoming God. All right. Blind or broken or maimed. Oh, boy. Here we go. I feel like I have a whole bunch of tool sets for this. Here we go, baby. Are you ready? Blind or broken or maimed. Oh, no goatee.
Oh.
No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
like the last chapter where it said anybody with any type of physical deformity was not welcome in the temple.
Yeah.
Anyone with a deformed testicle,
real
or
nice. Yeah.
anybody who's short, or
So My brother is a cancer survivor. His joke is that his sister has one more ball than he has. I love that, and yet it's true. And so, are you telling me my brother, who is still, I don't know if he's even a practicing Jew, he almost makes as many jokes as I do at this point, but nonetheless, are you telling me that he couldn't become a priest? He couldn't go into this altar? I mean, that seems to be what they're saying.
Same thing with bastard children, people whose parents weren't married when they were born. They're not welcome either.
Yeah.
Because God has no problem holding people accountable for what their ancestors did. He's even said like to the 5th or 6th generation.
Another concept I deplore. Whether it's Jewish or Christian, it happens in both seemingly. I don't know if it happens in Muslim, but this whole like generational passing down, like your father's father did something wrong, and now you're born having to pay the price. Evil.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Evil. Who am I to say that it is evil? The only type of person who can. We are literally the only agents who know how to judge things. So the 5D chess up in the sky, and the joke, I forget which comedian, always they point up here. You're pointing down here, whether God's up here or there. 5D chess, I can't see it. So just looks evil. But hey, maybe he loves us. He loves us somewhere.
It started off that way in the garden with the stupid thing where Adam and Eve eat the fruit, and then he has to, all their descendants have to, now that they did that, they're all born with sin. They all have to make this choice. Are they going to believe this story on faith alone, or are they going to burn forever? I'm sorry, but they did eat the fruit, so you guys are fucked. I mean, they did. So, yeah.
And that story, once again, going back to, you could chuck the entire book of Genesis. If that story were to happen, Yahweh would have been taken away, and Adam and Eve would have been taken into child custody. Like
Yahweh would be in a padded room right now.
But just the entire thing, like the entire setup of that story, like the tree is called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then you're going to punish them for doing something wrong. You know what would have been really nice? If they had known good and evil.
Well, but then they would know. I mean, then they would know these things about, like, they would have to make clothes, and they would have to have all these burdens that God didn't want them to have. He just wanted them to be dumb and ignorant. They don't know anything.
Seemingly.
Yeah, so they can worship him properly, the way he wants to be worshipped.
And I will say, that is a common theme. The ignorance is bliss. I've had discussions with people where I said, would you rather be unhappy and have the knowledge, or basically be ignorant and stay in bliss in this religious context? And I've had people tell me they would rather stay ignorant, which
I run to it all the time on YouTube, like in Praise's comment section. The other day, there's this one guy, and he's basically like, it's almost like they don't even care if it's true. It just sounds so good to them. They're just going to keep believing it because they like it.
Which is
whether it's true or not. I mean, they've already bet so much on it at this point. Even if it's got a 0.1% chance of being true, that's all they have going for them.
Well, that's part of the reason why I think Kent can't get out. Kent can't get out because it's just too good. Too good. Just think about, he has everyone working for him for free.
Is he going to go out and get a job?
Tax-free money, all this, and not that
he's going to go out and get a job. Anyway. I mean, if he went out and get a job, they would take taxes right out of his paycheck. You wouldn't like that.
No. But yeah, it just the all this stuff. It doesn't make sense to me. I wish I'm listening. I'm reading.
We're trying.
This whole thing. Yeah, I honestly, I want to know the truth. That's the other thing. The point that you were just talking about is that is really the only thing I care about. You and I, we're a bunch of
Don't let Sunflower hear it. Yeah, don't let Sunflower hear that.
And that's fine. We're only trying our best. But for a bunch of schmucks, I only want to know the truth. It is my guiding light.
Be like, oh, what are you, some kind of like goody two shoes Boy Scout, like crusader for truth? You're virtue signaling, like, oh, all you care about is the truth, but you don't even know that other people don't have brains. Signaling.
Like, it is really,
Why can't you just be like me and just pick something you like and believe in it no matter what?
I will say it is a mix of emotional and logic. I did emotionally have to say I will admit when I'm wrong. I want to know the truth more than that. And so when new information comes in, I will correct myself. And that's not always easy, but it is actually, I think this is Matt's explanation for what does it feel like when you're wrong? And it feels, spoiler alert, exactly what it feels like when you're right. And so you don't know that you're wrong until you have the information. But if you're not open-minded for that new information to even come in, then yeah, to stick 600 years, stick with 1,000 years, stick with 2,000. That's why they race towards the oldest book. They race each other. Who has not changed the most? It's like,
yeah, and that's
I
the
just
thing.
have the exact opposite viewpoint.
You just have to, whatever the book says, it's got to be true. If it doesn't make sense, it's just a test of faith. God is testing you to see whether you'll believe him or believe the scientist. Who do you love more?
That's right. In fact, by believing without evidence, you're truly even better. Having faith. Yeah. Exactly. And okay, we're moving down.
We're almost done.
We have been reading the book of Leviticus, chapter 22. So much wisdom we're getting from the big G-man himself as he's going out of his way. Like he said, don't have a blemish. And now he's like, yeah, by the way, what I mean by that, if you bitches weren't paying attention, was it better not be blind, it better not be broken, better not be maimed, having a wen or scurvy or scabs. Ye shall not offer these unto I am the Lord Bob. You better not be offering it to fucking hustler.
I'm not a Kmart god.
Yeah, I'm not a Kmart god. Excuse me? Better get a ring on this finger. Nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto the Lord Bob. So, I mean, I'd read the annotation. Seems fairly straightforward. Don't do all this shit, or else God will really be upset when you kill it. When you kill the animal. Oh no! Even though I stabbed it in the neck, lovely, it had a bruise somewhere.
Uh-oh. God, he's the mobster who gives people a stern talking to.
Right. Be a shame if that animal had a blemish on it. It'd be a real fucking shame.
Somebody might get
you would get a blemish. You never know. Be a shame.
Oh, where are Aaron Ross' sons? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're go ahead and sweep them up with a dustpan. That's where they're at.
That's right. Don't put no strange fires in front of me neither. Now, either a Sandra Bullock or a lamb. Oh no. What is
back to your field of Sandra Bullocks.
I know. Back to the field of Sandra Bullocks. What is the lamb?
Lamb chop?
Lamb chop. There we go. Yeah. You can see me putting my hand up his. Exactly. Either a Sandra Bullock or a lamb chop. that have anything.
Cops play along where God comes to kill people.
It's a different kind of show. They run for kids. It's like, hi, kids, everyone dies. I don't like this story. Super flushes.
God's like, I love this show. I've seen it a million times, and I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Or lacking in his parts. Oh, so the animal can't be lacking in parts. That mayest thou offer for a free will offering. Oh, look at that shit. That no wonder they get all this free will. But that's the first time they brought it up.
So that's a will.
What is a free will offering? And that sounds really contradictory. That sounds
I don't know. I'd like to see a Calvinist interpretation of it, because they're all like, no free will in the Bible. Well, I mean,
there we go. I will not accept a bullock or a lamb that is any superfluous or lacking in parts. Okay.
What if it's got 3 dicks? Does that count?
Man. No, then you get 3 times the sacrifice.
Okay. That's almost like the fist fruits.
Like the offering. Fist fruits. Yeah. Ye shall not offer unto the Lord Bob that which is bruised or crushed or broken or cut. Dude, get over it. Look at all these ways he is saying don't make sure it's blemished. Neither shall ye make any offerings therefore in your land. Don't break its legs. We get it. That's your job, God. We get it. Neither from a stranger danger's hand shall ye offer the bread, and don't let that fucking bread be leavened, of your goddess, of any of these, because their corruption is in them. Oh, is that what they're calling it nowadays? And blemishes be in them. Yeah, don't kink shame. They shall not be accepted for you. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, which he does often, apparently, when a Sandra bullock or a sheep, which one of my favorite sayings, if you aren't a sheep, you don't need a shepherd, or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam that the beavers built, and from the 8th day, and thenceforth it shall be accepted if you have good credit, for an offering made by everything was good until the Fire Nation attacked onto the Lord Bob. Okay, what? And don't sacrifice me any animals that you've obtained from strangers. Once again, just being lovely and biased. Their animals are all... Wow. I thought it was going out of its way to say, and it probably is, but he's just saying, don't give me stranger animals. Ew, all those animals from all those other nations, they're filled with corruption and blemishes. Animals that you sacrifice as
they've got blemishes on their goats.
Ew. Must be at least 8 days old. What? Okay. And whether...
Have to wait 8 days?
Yeah, that seems...
Still a baby. But...
Also, that means you're keeping it alive to kill it, right?
I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of what God does with all of us, right?
I guess so.
He's keeping us alive. He'll kill us at some point, but he's having fun with us until then.
Where's my... And whether it be cow or chicken from Cartoon Network, or ewe, ye shall not kill it, and her young both in 1 day. And when ye will... okay.
You can't kill them both on the same day? Okay, how nice of you.
How nice of you. Once again, if you're figuring out and planning your murders, you may be the bad guy.
Hey, Jesus, Holy Spirit, get down here. We're popping some popcorn. We're watching that flood again. We love this one. All the people drowning. It's amazing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Look at that baby drowning. Look at that baby.
All right.
Look at those bunnies.
And in fact, we are actually about to hit the end of the chapter in a second. I'm going to be sending that link into chat, and we're going to go for about an hour of open mic. But we're having fun. We have been reading Leviticus chapter 22. We're more than 2/3 done Leviticus. We're almost done the third book of the Bible.
Amy's actually sitting on a cucumber, if you didn't know. The fist fruits.
That's what keeps me up.
The fist fruits, yeah.
The fist fruits, baby. And all right, we're about to have a Thanksgiving dinner. And when ye will offer a sacrifice of Thanksgiving dinner unto the Lord, Bob, which kind of seemed like the whole chapter, but okay, go on. Offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. Ye shall leave.
Thou hast not discovered turkeys yet, because they live in America, but for Thanksgiving thou shalt kill a turkey.
Go find some kind
Get the stuffing. Yeah, with the cranberry sauce, you'll love it. But no blemish on that turkey. No blemish.
Yes, and somehow we were able to discover a country that still had people on it. I love that concept. We discovered, but I live here. Well, sure. How about we do joint credit?
But they weren't Christians, so the only proper thing to do would be to assimilate them, because they'll be thanking us when they don't have to go to hell anyway. So, you know.
Exactly. We're gonna
we're taking their land. We're forcing them to work.
And we're gonna
destroying their culture. But
Christianity, right to them. Right to them. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It'll be great. You work for us 6 days a week, 15 hours a day, and we'll let you talk to the priest after work. He can teach you about Jesus. Yeah. Teach you about Jesus, and then you guys won't have to go to hell. Yay!
Exactly. You won't have to. You'll be saved from what I was going to do to you. Oh, aren't I a nice? Okay. So we had Thanksgiving dinner. We ate it up.
Killed some natives.
On the same day it shall be eaten up. You can't have leftovers. You shall leave none until the day after tomorrow, because then everything kind of becomes
If I keep eating, I'm going to have to do a heave offering. I can't do it, God.
I am the Lord, Bob, in case you kind of forgot. Therefore, ye shall keep my commandments and do them funky style.
Oh, I thought that's why they were commandments, but okay, God.
Yeah, that was kind of it was in the word. But
the commandments that I'm telling you, do them. Really, do them.
Do them. Do commandment style. I am the Lord. I have to keep on saying it. No, I am not being redundant. The Bible is. Dun, dun, dun. And do them. Neither shall ye profane my holy name. Why? What you going to do? What you going to do?
Which one? Which name?
Bring it. I'm just kidding, Yahweh. No, bring it. No.
Which name, though? He's got
I know. Which name?
Which one can we not profane?
Bring us it. Jealous? Oh, man. What a great name. But
what a jealous God. He's jealous.
Jealous God. Yo. Children can get over jealousy. By the time you are an adult, it should be something you have handled. I feel like a god.
It's like my girlfriend's been cheating on me with an imaginary person. It's like, because they're worshiping other gods that don't exist. What is he like? What are you guys wasting your time worshiping Moloch for? He's not real.
Yo. We called out Moloch. Another tip fedora hat if you were just turning in. But no, Yahweh was just telling us in the other chapter, don't sacrifice your children to the god Moloch, in case you forgot.
Yeah, just in case you were just about to do it, and then you read the thing I should stop.
Yeah. Oh, it was like 1, 2. Oh, wait. Oh, what does it say in the Bible? Oh.
I mean, the depiction is always that Moloch would be like a bronze statue with like hands outstretched, and there'd be fire under the hands so that they would heat up, and they would just throw the babies on there to be burnt alive. And yeah, that was always the depiction. They're just chucking babies on there left and right.
Chucking babies.
And God says,
no,
hey,
not like our civilized God, like in this chapter.
He just drowns them. Yeah, he drowns babies. He doesn't sacrifice them to a god. So he'll just drown.
Or he
them.
just knocks them off the tower. I feel like that had to have been like a few thousand people, or however much he killed off the tower.
He didn't really knock the tower down. He just came down and changed their language so they wouldn't understand how to build it.
Oh, didn't he knock the tower? I thought he knocked the Tower of Babel.
Nah, he just changed their language so they couldn't keep building it. But so theoretically, it should be somewhere. But I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Well, then I would like to see evidence of it.
Yeah, let Ken Hovind show you that next to his pictures of the Ark on that.
Another concept I still do not get, because once again we read that chapter and it was like all the humans were working together, and God was like,
God was pissed.
I can't have that. And all the Christians and probably the Jews and whatever, they're like, no, humans were trying to be like gods. You mean work together and accomplish things? That's God?
Yeah. Do stuff other than worship him. Yeah. They were out there building stuff instead when they could have been using that time to worship him.
That's right. Could have been winning it. And all right, we're keeping the commandments. We're not. They have this whole thing with the name. You can't use my name in vain, but I'll be hallowed among the children of Israel. Shmishmael. I am the Lord which butt trained you or hollowed you out. There you go. That brought you out of the land of New York, just like James was saying.
After he got him in, but
yeah. Hey,
remember
now that I threw you guys into Egypt, wouldn't it be?
You've been
really
there for a
nice
few hundred years.
Yeah,
because that whole famine thing. Whose idea was that famine? Remember, you had to get Joseph in there, come up with this plan to save the grain so the people wouldn't starve. It's a great plan. Then I'll get all the people in there, and then that pharaoh will die, and a couple pharaohs later, they won't realize who these people are, and they'll just enslave them all. And then I'll come rescue them.
Yeah, exactly. But, hundreds of years later, it'll work out. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And all right.
Made it.
I am the Lord, your Bob. I brought you out of New York. And ladies and gentlemen, with that,
don't do it.
We are gonna, I guess we'll do. I'm thinking whether we should do the chapter review or the. We'll do it anyway. Tradition.
Yeah.
And okay, we'll do a short chapter review, and then we'll go into open mic.
Remarkably similar to what we had in just the previous chapters. Kind of the same stuff, or same focus.
Yeah, it was just hyper specific, and man, passage and passage after blemishes, and yet that one line about gays gets killed. No one cares about a blemished goat anymore.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. Yeah, that was part of the sacrificial system. Nobody cares about short people or people who are born illegitimately or anything like that. Nobody really cares about it.
Are divorced. I mean, how many times has Ken Hovind been married now? And
3. He has 3 wives. I guess he's looking for number 4. Atheist Jr. is supposed to be doing something with wife number 3. I can't wait to see that.
Ooh, shout out to Atheist Jr. in that stream.
Yeah, he's going to have an interview with Cindy Lincoln, apparently, Ken's 3rd wife.
I'm also not hating on anyone who's got divorced, because I know life is real and life is not perfect.
I've been divorced. Yeah, it has.
Yeah, really, we're just trying to poke fun at the people that are like, you can't get divorced. You can't get divorced. I'm sorry, what? My wife is doing.
She left me?
We need to understand the Bible in context, in the time period of the day. And it's like, wow, your views have evolved so fast. Look at that.
I mean, it's the same thing with accepting homosexuality as not being anything to worry about, because the world is no longer going to accept people who hold those bigoted views, and so they've evolved themselves so that they're not part of the outgroup.
Yeah, and I really dislike the whole in-group, out-group. Once this chapter had
I'm okay with gay people now. I mean, if they want to be gay, I mean, it's a sin, but who am I to judge? Like the Pope said, I mean, hey, only God can judge them, right?
Yeah, only God. That's their squaring their circle, which, the Vatican, let me tell you, they haven't had a good record on. Well, it's weird. If we ignore all those crimes, which you can, but they're science-y. They will accept evolution, the Big Bang.
Yeah.
They will accept, an old Earth, but then, they try and do this I'm not looking. You're gay? No. Put the money here. Eat the bread here. No.
Just don't tell me about it. I'll let you eat the bread. Just don't tell me that you're gay, and then I won't be able to let you eat it. But if you don't tell me, hey, it's on you. Just keep paying the money. Yeah, like divorced Catholics, they're very common now. It's
In fact, I think
it's a mess. Hey, Junior.
What's it called? In America, it's 1 and 2, isn't it?
I'm sure it's if not that, it's probably right around that, very close.
Yeah, and honestly,
originally you don't have to go too far back to where the Catholics were. I mean, still technically birth control is banned, but they have a few loopholes and whatnot. But yeah, traditionally they didn't allow any type of birth control. If God wanted you to have kids, you'd get pregnant. Otherwise, if he didn't want you to have kids, you wouldn't get pregnant. So trying to interfere with God's desires was a sin.
And I have also been told this secondhand, so I'd have to really look it up. But I've been told that the Catholic Church used to tell minority groups in third world countries that AIDS was better than using birth control and condoms.
They were against it. They were against condoms.
That is evil. Holy moly.
They did. And they haven't really changed it. They've just got more lax on it. Like, we can't support it, but if you do it and we don't see it, I mean, what can we do about it?
So it's once again, it's a don't look at me. Don't look. Do the gay stuff over there.
Yeah, use a condom. You probably don't want to get AIDS, but on the other hand, you're still going to go to hell.
Still gonna burn, baby, until you have the information. Well, you will now have the information, and God will be like, "Isn't it great that now you know?" And then you'll get to burn. Then the fun just begins. Speaking of the fun just beginning, in a second, we're going to go into our open mic. The link is in chat. We're going to go for about an hour.
Maybe an hour.
And then, yeah, we have fun. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, sloppy. Yeah, well, my favorite Bill Burr joke is they were pressing him he was doing a morning show, and they were pressing him on his F is for Family. Well, he has a sitcom called F is for Family. Fantastic. You should all watch it. And they were like, this one lady was trying to be like, there's the Catholics, they're in this uproar and all this. And Bill was like, I did 1 or 2 jokes. And she was like, yes. And he just looked at her and he's like, don't you think the Catholic Church has done a little bit more than my jokes? And then he turned to her and he's just like, they were passing them around kind of like at SeaWorld when that one orca kind of bits off the arm of the trainer, then he gotta pass the that whale up north, and like the two co-host and host of the morning show who clearly regret ever bringing up this subject. We're just like, I don't understand anything you're saying. And Bill's like, I bet you don't. Want to move on to another topic? It was a great moment. You should all Google it.
Sooner or later, we'll have to do a stream about the Christian denominations, and we could talk about the differences between the Protestants and the Catholics and the Orthodox. How things got to be the way they are.
And yes, in fact, I would say coming soon. That's what she said. But we are going to be doing all of the different denominations we've been talking about. I may want to start off. I want to do like a Judaism podcast. Maybe do a Judaism podcast and then do Catholicism, Protestantism.
Do the origins of Judaism. That would be really good to
between Calvinism and Armenian. Shia and Sunni. We just want to do the sects also. Once again, that's what he said.
Jehovah's
and we're
Witness,
moving along, people.
Mormon, Seventh-day Adventist. Get Jamie on for that.
Yeah, I would love all that. I want to do Scientology. Let's get us put on a watch list. It's about time.
Have L. Ron Hubbard knock on your door.
That's the real thing about just Scientologists. And just about a bunch of maybe just other different religions. I have such a distaste, I guess, especially for the Book of Mormon, for who L. Ron Hubbard is, that I just want to really understand how they look at him. Because the people in Scientology. Book of Mormon, you mean
Ron Hubbard or Joseph?
So I kind of cross streams there because I kind of said so both. Both L. Ron Hubbard and generally Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon, both of those religions, I have real disdain for their leaders. It's a mixed bag for a bunch of the other monotheistic ones, but it's just with those, you see the seams. And so I want to know, when you're in that deep, do you actually think L. Ron Hubbard was this amazing guy who did all this shit? I mean, I think I saw...
Came up with all these discoveries, yeah.
I've seen Tom Cruise quote him before. And so to quote someone, it means you kind of, you at least appreciate what they're saying, unless you're parodying it. And, it's just so interesting to see people have a vast amount of respect and who they think has a vast amount of wisdom, who we think is either at best full of shit and at worst dangerous.
Insane. Yeah. That shit crazy, insane, hallucinating, or most likely a fraud.
And so it's just interesting. I think we should go through all of them. And I think it was your idea anyway, so I don't know why I'm saying we. This is a good idea. And all right, we are with that. We are going into open mic. The link is in chat, and I will be pinning it. And I heart you all. Woohoo!
Get the link on Jeebus.
Bring on Jeebus. And all right. With that, we're having fun. We are Skeptic Bible studying. We were trying not to have a blemish on any of our sacrifices. It was real hard. Nick, I hope you are doing well. I love the haircut, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And what are your thoughts of the night?
Oh, dear Lord. Well, it's okay. So I am first. 9 times out of 10, I'm in the live chat. Where's the link? I don't see the link. I want to like the last guy on the bus. Now this is maybe it's a sign of the apocalypse. I don't know. It certainly isn't a sign I've got my shit together. But thank you very much.
The world's probably about to end.
Yeah. That's usually what it means when I get something right. And then I got that little monkey thing there, so I got maybe
monkey right in front of
camera. Yeah, there you go. No, I literally just showed up. I saw. I said, "Who's streaming tonight?" And yeah, you guys were up, so I figured I'd come in and stop in. But I definitely want to learn more about Scientology. I have a sort of a basic background knowledge in it, but I think we got to get somebody on the show who, and I know there's a couple of big ones. GM Skeptic is not one of them. I forget where he came from, but I know a couple of the big ones, the bigger YouTubers who talk about religion. I know at least one of them came from Scientology, so I'd like to learn. Yeah, they deconverted from Scientology, so that's one I'd like to. I mean, I think everyone knows sort of the L. Ron Hubbard history and the auditing and the blackmail and all the other good things. Oh, Jesus, this isn't my stream. Oh, I don't care if you guys get demonetized. So let me tell you what I know. So
your $5,000.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Well, it's 500. Okay, I'm going to say this once. I assume you guys don't know the story.
Not 5,000.
It's 400. Okay. Story. Here's the deal. The Non Sequitur Show, which is a YouTube channel, probably a number of the audience have heard of it by now. Probably a number have not, but it was a reasonably popular YouTube show. Yeah, it kind of exploded. People started to really like it, and then one of the hosts unceremoniously kicked the other host off. It's still in litigation. It's been a crazy ride in litigation, faking evidence to the court, the whole nine. It's been, literally just forging evidence and sending it to the court. It's been cray. So,
McCray.
Cray, absolutely. So, at any rate, what?
McCray. Steve McCray.
Oh, Steve McCray. Yeah, Steve McCray was the host. Yeah. I did not mean Cray. Steve McCray. I meant just Cray.
Yeah.
But so the long story short, one of the things that I had noticed was so the money appeared to vanish, and there was actually significant revenue. I want to say in the to the tune of about $60,000, which for a YouTube channel is pretty decent. And it kind of vanished. And I noticed their first episodes were done with just like in the back of an apartment with nothing on the walls. So it's just white wall and all this other stuff. And the sets kept getting fancier and fancier and fancier as the money rolled in. But there was no accounting for this. Nobody sat there and said how much was being spent and so on and so forth. And then I noticed that one of the hosts, Kyle Curtis, was wearing a different colored sports jacket. It appeared to be a completely different suit. Now, we later learned, not kidding, he only had to pay half of the suits because he wasn't wearing pants. But nonetheless, he would wear a different one every show. And I'm sitting there going, and so somebody said, "Well, gee, Nick, you're such a smart guy. Where do you think the money's going?" I said, "Look, he's buying an extra $400 suit every goddamn night. I mean, where do you think it's going?" So yeah, so that's what I said. So somebody said, "Oh, it's $400. You got the receipts, work in suits," and it's a troll. I'm sitting there going, does it really matter? But anyways, he goes, "Well, so you're Nick $400 suitor." And I was just like, that's pretty fucking clever, actually. Yes, Nick $400 suitor. So the next day, as a troll, I put on my nicest jacket. It's not $400, but it's a pretty good jacket. And I streamed with that. And I was just going to do it for a couple of days. But everyone was just like, "Oh, look, $400 suitor's got his suit on." So after that, and so literally for 2 years, I've been chained to that. I only do it for the formal shows, but now it's part of I have to do the show. And if I miss one, I just like 20 people like, "Oh, where's your $400? Son of a..." Yeah, now Oz has picked up on it, so I'm really screwed.
Yeah, you're screwed. Oz will never
Can't help it. Makes you fancy.
Yeah. So that's the story. That's why that's the Nick $400 suitor. And then it got to be Nick Muter suitor because I could never find my mic on button. And it's just a long story short, I have no respect. Yeah. No, it's 400 because I go Kyle. I go Kyle, man. I go full Kyle. That means I go full Curtis. So I can't stand up. I'm just stuck here with the because I'm not going to pay $800, but I can pay half if I just get half the suit. That's simple.
And woohoo!
Wow.
And thank you. Let's see if I can say this. Nick, $400.
Oh,
suitor.
son of a! I don't know why I told anyone that story. Okay, that was.
I will keep. I would
Yo,
say
you'll
keep it to
keep
myself,
what?
but we're on live stream.
We're live. Are you going to take this now for me? Well, the only reason Oz knew was because we were running late and we were about to go live, and then I realized I didn't have the jacket on. I was like, "Oh shit, I have to put it on," and then I had to find it. And I was just like, where did I have it? And he's just like, just go without it. I was like, no, you don't realize, man. I have to.
He's got to have it,
yeah. So there you go. One troll changed the whole course of in time. Thanks.
And thank you so very much, Nick. And I will say, Best in Show, we are absolutely going to do a Skeptics Annotated Book of Mormon and Book of Quran. It might take more than a few more months. Let me tell you, the Bible is a big book, but we're having fun eventually. And we are going to get there. And okay, thank you so very much, Nick. Peter, we're having fun. We have been looking at the book of Leviticus, and we have been trying not to blemish God's sacrifice. It's been hard. He seems to be picky. But I hope you're doing well. And what are your thoughts?
Don't get any seed on it, Amy.
So I have to. So the book of Leviticus, isn't that Leviticus? I mean, I think he was in Monty Python. Leviticus. He was the best friend of Biggest Dickus, who sadly didn't make an appearance, but he was mentioned in The Life of Brian. I think. Not entirely sure.
I do remember Biggest Dickus.
Yeah, so I have to apologize a little bit because I saw two things come up. I saw that you were going to go live, and then I saw a title with Mark Reed in it. And
he was on the channel.
I made the silly mistake to click on that one. And so that was a dumpster fire. I know
was that PMARS or...
that was with our dear friend Jungle Jargon.
Oh wow! Okay.
Until another dear friend Smokey Saint jumped in, and the jungle fire became the city block fire. I think
dumpsters all over the jungle.
Yeah. I mean, well, it was already kicked off the non sequitur show, dumpster fires. I mean. Should we mention that No, let's not mention the restraining order that came out of it. Let's not. I'm back after quite a while, so I just came over to have some fun. So, Amy, you can take me off full screen.
Newman, focus.
And we can get on with the show.
Trying to FOCUS. We got this.
Number one, I do like being on my knees.
That is true. And okay, what a transition. Thank you so much, Peter. And we're heading off to Randolph. We're having fun. We have been reading the Skeptic's Annotated Bible, a version of the King James Bible, and we've been mowing through Leviticus. Hope you're doing well. And what are your thoughts about tonight?
If you're mowing through, I'm sure you have a sharp, skeptical blade. Occam's razor, perhaps?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got it. The spinning version. You can cut a lot all at once. That's a good idea. So, I just thought I'd join in. I just tuned in, so I didn't get a chance to hear most of the reading. But what is the big feature that was covered tonight?
I would say the big feature is that if you even offer a sacrifice that has even a little bit of a blemish on it, God's going to cut you.
Oh, that's what it says. Wow, God is fussy.
Yeah.
You'd think with his
it's got to be perfect.
You'd think with his omniscience and omnipotence, he'd know how and have the capability to fix that. So it shouldn't matter. Because
do his own sacrifice,
right? Sorry, James?
He could do his own sacrifice, right? I mean,
well, he did with Jesus.
Sacrificed himself to himself. Yeah.
Spoilers, God, literally.
Darn.
No, I'm
just it's the prophecy that he made. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, other people are talking. Better take me off full screen. Thanks,
That
Amy.
sounds good. Thank you. As I clear my throat, thank you so very much, Randolph. And that sounds good. We are going into the open conversation. I'm trying to find my link again to pin it. If not, I'll resend it in there. And if not, we're going to have some fun.
Have some fun.
Yeah, God is a very picky eater, and before you stab the goat, it better be looking fine and dandy. At one point, it had to be male, very specific. Just okie dokie.
Yeah, what I'm not sure what he's interested in with those goats, but I'm starting to wonder, and I yeah.
Oh yeah, now you're making me think a little bit.
Well, the specificity is just like, well, let's talk about what I look for in a goat.
Somebody calling God here.
Uh-oh. Are we hooking into the Matrix?
The Matrix. Okay.
Which apparently
But yeah,
they're coming up with a new movie.
It's not me, Matt. No, it's not me. Someone was calling.
Antonio, it's the Matrix. God?
There's somebody else.
Is this,
Yahweh? Are you here?
is this the call-in show?
Or maybe a
Not
call
yet.
show if we're trying
Like
to.
we were
have
calling
call-in
out.
show.
Yeah.
Wait. So, if this is a call-in
the phone
show,
calls?
Amy, would that make you a call girl?
I'm going to go with yes.
She does out calls, but the rates are probably higher.
Oh, no. Let me tell you, James, I could make that joke, but I've learned real-life experience. I do not do alcohol.
Yeah.
Number one, I do like being on my knees.
Charlton Heston does, too.
Some people do like that more than others, I suppose. James, what are you drinking? I see it.
That's a bottle of rum.
Rum. Okay.
Yeah.
Row, ho, ho.
It helps get through these Bible readings, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
My co-host is getting
I'm
my
getting
co-host is getting ready to join us. Good morning.
Puppy.
Oh, lovely. Looks like the dog from the record player from the old days.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That was a smaller dog.
Oh.
This one turned 16 2 days ago.
Wow, that dog is well looked after.
There's a dog. Let Ken Hovind. Don't let Ken Hovind hear about it.
Oh, speak about Kent Hovind. If anyone has noticed down here, I stole something from him. It says second opinions. And Randolph, we need to get a move on because you were supposed to be the first one to appear on second opinions. We need to make that happen because I already have a Muslim and an ex-Muslim who want to come on, and that date's already set. So we need to.
What date is that? What date do you want me on?
Preferably before July 3rd.
Okay.
We'll do that. We'll do that off air. But,
we'll figure it out on Twitter. Yeah.
I've called your interlocutor twice already in the past few days. He's not picking up the phone.
Yeah,
maybe I'm blocked.
That was the problem before.
He does have pretty hair. Don't let him hear that. It's going to go right to his head.
Amy, I just noticed something. I need to get you something for your OBS because that's not working.
No, he needs to use
She's not
OBS.
on OBS.
And I will say, it has been, you know how I said it's been the worst week? I called the computer guy, and his exact words for me is like, it's been the worst week. And I just wanted to be like, that's a shame. Yeah, but my computer is now next to me, but it is still dying. But I am almost there. It's almost working, and I can use OBS and be like a butterfly, a streaming butterfly.
So, but did they find the issue?
We'll get it back eventually.
Yes, I think I found the issue, which is the original thing that I wanted. It's the processor and the motherboard. I'm now 90% sure because I am running. So here is the pink computer. This should be the computer that's working. But I am running the computer, and here's my battery backup and all this stuff. So it's not I thought it was the electricity, but the battery backup should have taken care of that. Yet it's still blue screening. And
when does the computer blue screen?
On almost everything now. Like I could just be running a YouTube and it's not running anything taxing at all.
What's your blue screen error?
All bunch of kernel stuff.
Well, usually there's some kind of an error code though that's included on there.
I can take pictures, and I've had stuff. So the day of the debate, whenever my last debate was, the computer died to the point where it was like it kept cover itself. Like the recovery tool died, and I couldn't get the recovery tool. Could be a heat issue.
And Randolph, I have to ask: do computers really do air quotes? Or did I mishear?
I have no idea what you just heard.
You said there should be an air quote in there when Amy said it's a lot of kernel stuff.
No, I don't believe I did.
Error code.
Oh, error code. I said error code.
Yeah.
I thought an air quote.
Yeah, there should be an error code. So yeah, Amy, just send me some pictures.
Something might be wrong with your motherboard.
Okay.
I don't think
you may want to restart your computer.
So, Amy, if you have pictures of the blue screens, go ahead and send them to me on Twitter. I'll take a look.
And I'm pretty sure because we've eliminated almost all the variables. I have a new graphics card. I have new the water system. I'm trying to think. We did a whole water cooling and all that.
Oh, it's water cooled. Wow. Okay.
But
Do you use? No, I'm going to make a bet. I'm going to say your RAM is failing. I'd swap out the RAM. It's probably not the CPU. It's not going to be the CPU because the CPU, unless it's overheating, but if you have a water cooling system and if it's correctly attached,
it wouldn't do anything with the CPU, right?
So it's not going to be the CPU. It's almost certainly not going to be the motherboard. It's going to be either the RAM or a problem with the drive, and the drive may be failing.
If it's an Intel processor, then it won't overheat. It'll shut everything off before it overheats.
Well, the AMDs shouldn't overheat either.
Yeah, they don't have that option because that's patented by Intel, and they don't license it out to AMD.
I have an AMD that has done it more than once. I've overclocked my AMD. Never had an issue with it. It's shut down. But you see, it won't blue screen. It'll just shut down unless. If for some reason it's not doing that, and you can disable that in the BIOS. If that's disabled in the BIOS, what's going to happen is you're going to start to get some wonky behavior usually beforehand as it starts throwing back bad numbers back to the operating system, and then you might get a blue screen. But if you're getting a blue screen regularly like this, there's either a RAM issue or
Intel's probably either licensing it or they're not able to renew the patent anymore.
Well, keep in mind, it's not on the CPU; it's on the motherboard. It's the motherboard that actually detects it and shuts it down.
CPU. No. Intel CPUs have that feature, and it's patented for CPUs. So motherboards can do that, but the CPUs, only Intel's CPU can do that directly.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I have an Asus motherboard, and it happens. Yeah. I know Asus, MSI, and all the major motherboards will do it. I don't think it's an overheat problem. If it is, it would express itself somewhat differently. This is either a RAM problem or the OS is damaged somewhere on.
And I just got it back from the shop. I got it back from the shop today.
Please tell me you didn't use Geek Squad.
No, they're called computer jocks. They're same shtick probably though. But this guy, I had my computer upgraded, and I'll say this, then I'll get us back on topic. I said, I got it upgraded like 9 months ago, and I put $800 into it and trying to upgrade it and fix it. And he really pressed me not to get a new motherboard and CPU because he's like, at that point, it's just a whole nother computer. And I was like, okay, but the computer, there was already blue screening even back then. So got the computer back, have spent the past months or whatever, it's still doing it, but it got to the point where where it wouldn't even boot. So then I had to take it back to them, and now, it fails even when it's on their hard drive, they said. And he said,
it boots.
Basically,
Does it boot?
It boots. Oh yeah.
Now
So
it boots,
yes,
yeah.
it boots.
Back
I
to the
shouldn't
way
say
it
oh
was
yeah,
before.
but it boots now. And I have all my files back. And so for instance, Talk Skeptic to Me is going to come out this week. So because I could just sit there and just crash all day on Adobe software. I just can't do it on. I just can't stream and crash all day. But I could sit there and just save files and just do new save files every 5 minutes. And
are you using a SSD or a regular hard drive?
So you know what?
Both.
There's a lot
I
of
just got
different
an SSD.
asked, and this can take a lot of time. I'll take a look at the blue screens and tell you if I know what it is. This is my profession, but I think probably we should stick to the topic because this is a huge rabbit hole that can go all over the place. And, yeah.
One of those Ken Hogan rabbit holes.
We are not on Discord. I'm going to send the link. We got about 30 more minutes left. I'm going to be sending the link into chat.
I like Lady Nate's comment, crash the party. As long as Amy's hard drive is good, we are all saved. What a great segue back.
Yeah. How's your hard drive, Amy?
Oh, nice and hard.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I can bring you back, guys, on topic because, this whole notion, because this has been this whole chapter, is just how I like. I really need that nice, tasty sacrifice. Isn't it weird? This whole culture of sacrifices, we've been saturated it. All the classic monotheistic, as they like to call themselves, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims. Actually, I don't know if Muslims have a culture of sacrifice, but this whole notion of just killing something so your bad deeds get undone.
So the God can forgive you.
Well, Yahweh does like his blood. I mean, everything's about blood.
Well, under Islam, they do kill animals in very cruel ways. And they even have the halal certification to make sure.
So it's similar to the kosher.
To make sure that it is as cruel as possible.
Right.
They're against any sort of anesthetic or any kind of unconsciousness of the animal when they kill it. Oh my God. It's really
slowly bleed out, very slowly.
Yeah, and it's extremely painful for the animal. Their apologetics claim otherwise, but there's no science to back it at all. And
they slowly bleed to death.
Yeah, it's animal cruelty.
And one thing I need to add, because Mubarak, who's been on this show a couple of times,
he has been.
Who's a regular on Aaron's Quran lessons. He was employed by a slaughterhouse recently. He quit. He's got a new job now. But there are Muslims who are making a ton of money by just being present there and making sure that the meat is slaughtered halal. They don't have to know anything, just be a Muslim who knows how the animal should be slaughtered, and they are paid very, very well. So you
just watch the animals suffer and die.
Yep. Yes,
that's all. Yeah,
that's pretty much it. And Mubarak said he couldn't do that. I know for a fact.
I don't see how you could do that for very long.
No, he's an animal lover. I think the whole slaughterhouse thing got to him as well, because one in the cows walk in.
I had to quit a grocery store because I couldn't kill a lobster. I was like, nope.
I'm one of those people who, when I see a local store is marketing that they have halal products, I call and complain. I call and I tell them about how cruel the killing is, and I get graphic on the phone with them. And I tell them how sick it is that they're supporting it, and that I don't want to shop there as long as they're selling halal products and supporting animal cruelty. And a lot of the time they tell me to take a hike, so I keep calling back each day until they take me seriously. Yep, I have done that. And a number of these small stores have stopped carrying halal for it, and others have dug in their heels and aligned with the Muslims. So there's a divide. I don't care. I'll make that divide. People need to speak out against this.
I think when it comes to being in a Western country, I'm all for respecting people's religion. I wish it went away, but I don't want to force anyone. But if your religion needs and torturing animals in order to eat, then you might as well go vegan, because I don't think that any Western country should tolerate that, should import halal meat, but it's not only the Muslims, it's the Jews as well who have
the kosher is kosher is just as bad.
Yeah,
it's similar. Like they watch the animals slowly bleed to death to get the most blood out of it as possible, because blood is evil, according to God.
Yeah, and if it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. They've got a cleansing ritual where you buy a chicken, then you hold it by the legs, swing it over your head, and then your sins will be transferred to the chicken. And once that is done, you've tortured the chicken long enough, you donate it to a family that doesn't have any money, and so they get to eat the flesh with your sins in it.
Is that
probably a good way?
Is that in Judaism or Islam?
That's in Orthodox Judaism. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's a cleansing ritual that comes back every year, where people just torture chickens and then give them to people who don't have money for meat, because hey, eating sins isn't wrong, I guess, if it's not your sin. And
it's my biggest dilemma with that eating animals in general, is if I had to kill the animal, I probably would be a vegetarian.
I would be a vegetarian, definitely.
And we're actually
gonna with me. Like, I love lobster, but if I'm going out, I can't go and pick which one I want. I don't know.
Because it's a person at that point.
It's interesting how that works. Yeah.
Picking which one dies.
I can't even eat and see other animals. Now that might be a little bit bad, but like if I'm eating if I'm eating bacon on a sandwich and I see a pig, I get really self-conscious.
Yeah.
And okay, guys, we're gonna add in, so we can keep on having open conversation, but I'm gonna add in Soldier of Science. I hope you're doing well tonight. How are
My neighbors have a
you?
pig.
And what are your thoughts tonight?
I mean, you know what? I'm obviously, I want to tack on to this most recent conversation, because I agree with you, Amy. I think, being a former Christian and turning into an atheist, that my morality has changed, for the greater good. I would think, but I would also, with that introspection, I would say that I would lose every argument against a vegan if they were to debate me. Every single one. I would literally have to lie in a fetal position and say, I have cognitive dissonance. I'm sorry.
That is the word I use.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
You know who else says that is James from Modern Day Debate. He's like, I listened to it. I mean, he's a Christian, so he says, well, I mean, it's not wrong because the Bible says to do it, but to justify it
is. I mean, if I was, and I'm trying to be the person that becomes more ethical and morally superior to other human beings in this lifetime. If I was to be that person to my fullest extent, I would be a vegan right now. And I acknowledge that. I totally acknowledge it. I mean, really, the argument comes down to laziness, or I'm just too old. Yeah, or I'm just too old to change my ways.
Taste.
It is. I love fishing. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but I live on a 40-foot boat in Ventura, California. So fishing is a big part of my life. I have an 11-foot skiff I take out during lobster season. And last year I caught a 6.5-pound lobster, and I had no problem killing that sucker.
I'm curious. Why did if you don't mind me asking, do you think your morality changed, and how did it change?
No, it's a great question. I mean, obviously, I think if you follow the Bible and you look at the beginning verses in Genesis where, man was made, pretty much the master over all animals.
I got to restart the computer, Amy. I'll be right back. My computer.
Yeah, if
it's
you
about
grew
ready
up,
to crash, so I'm just going to restart it. I'll be right back.
If you grew up in a lifestyle that basically said that all animals are under your dominion and you can do with them what you please, you don't really think of the ethical consequences of that. And even more so, as a fisherman, I always kind of grew up thinking that fish probably don't feel pain, and so there was probably a justification in that. I still love fishing, dude. I was doing it yesterday. I literally caught 3 yellowfin croaker off the back of my boat and fed it to a blue heron. I mean, talk about, the whole nature cycle. So, I mean, I acknowledge that probably my biggest moral failing in life right now is knowing that if I have the ability to get all the nutrients that I want, all the taste that I want outside of an animal being killed for it, that probably people 50 years from now, not even 50, maybe 30 years from now, will think of me as a moral monster. I acknowledge that for sure. So does that answer your question?
Bacon's juicy.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to argue against bacon. I haven't found a good ontological argument that defeats bacon in a very long time.
Well, I mean, there's great arguments, obviously, right? I mean, I think all of us have heard the arguments of why farming animals is literally destroying the planet right now. For example, it is. I mean, the amount of agriculture that we have to provide for animals to eat that meat, instead of just eating the agriculture that we feed to the animals, we feed that to the animals so we can get meat, or the water consumption. I mean, I live in California. Why the hell do we have like cattle farms in California where it takes an enormous amount of water to feed a single cow every day in a drought-stricken state? Or almond, I saw one of you guys drinking almond milk, which I totally respect. I respect that. But do you know how much fucking water it takes for almond trees that are grown in California? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So yeah, I guess just to tack on to what Amy was saying is, I have cognitive dissonance. I realize that. I wish that I had the ability to change my habits so that I didn't eat animals and I felt more ethical, but I haven't been able to do it.
Well, I think it's problematic to say that eating animals is not ethical. We're stewards of the animals, and there are food animals. It's the problem where the ethics comes in, I think, is when the animals are mistreated and killed cruelly and painfully. That's an issue. The thing is, we're on a planet with a very large population, and it's very difficult to keep everybody fed. Meat is a very easy way to keep people fed quickly. The reason I drink this is because if I used to drink a lot of milk, and I ended up getting allergy symptoms every summertime, and I switched away from cow's milk mostly and to this, and the allergy symptoms have pretty much all cleared up. So for me, it's to cure the allergy. Otherwise, I'd still be drinking cow's milk. I don't really see a problem with us eating food animals, but I know that there are a lot of people who do, and there's also people who think that it's unethical to be doing mass-produced farming because of how much that takes from the land. However, if we don't do these mass productions of food, we can't feed the world. There's going to be a lot of people who there just won't be enough food. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, so, but there's an argument for what type of food is produced, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and obviously you have a line in the sand of what protein you would want to eat. Like I imagine you wouldn't want to eat a dolphin, right?
Not me personally, no.
Right.
Different taste, but there are people out there who do. Now, the thing is, I know people who have switched to vegetarianism at various ages, especially at young age. It's a problem. And they did not have enough iron in their their system, and that caused all kinds of health problems. They weren't getting the proper proteins, and the doctors recommended that they switch back to eating some meat, and it gradually went back to where it needed to be. Now, there are vegans and vegetarians out there who claim that there are certain vegetables they can eat to get the proteins from, but that didn't work. They needed the meat proteins. So,
but I mean, there's even besides like the vegetables. And again, let me remind you guys, I'm not a vegetarian. Love my meat, love my fish. They haven't gone there. I'm just acknowledging this as an ethical and a moral problem for people growing up who now have the ability to probably get all the nutritional substance that they can get without having to eat meat, is what I'm saying.
Which is contradicting what the doctors told us, and what the doctors prescribed ended up solving the problems for these people who tried vegetarianism and weren't getting the proper proteins. So there is a difference there between propaganda and science, and that's what I'm objecting to. This is not right information, and the thing is, we are omnivores by nature, so it's fine if people want to eat just vegetables and fruits and things like that, and nuts and whatnot. That's fine. That's their choice to do it. However, there can be health ramifications from it, because that is not our nature.
Sure, but I guess what I was getting back to, and what I was kind of trying to say is your line in the sand of what is acceptable protein for you, and in all honesty, you can get tons of protein out of crickets. You know, you can get tons of proteins out of many types of insects that none of us are willing to eat right now. But
so now, is there an ethical issue with eating that form of life over eating animal life?
That's my question to you. What's the line in the sand? You know, all of us have a line in the sand.
But hang on, are you saying that it's ethical to eat the bugs who are living creatures, and unethical to eat food animals?
No, I guess my argument was saying that if you're saying that you can't get sustenance and enough nutrition out of plants, that it takes protein, I would revert back to, well, you can get protein from things that are less destructive to the environment, such as farming, like mass farming cows and mass farming pigs and mass farming chickens.
I've got a solution that is probably a little bit in between, because a couple of miles from where I live, there's a company that makes vegetarian meat, and they make a really awesome product. So their bacon is indistinguishable from actual bacon, and so every once in a while I just get their meat instead of actual meat. It's all plant-based. It tastes magnificent. There's really no difference whatsoever. So what a solution could be is that you're going to make your meat 50-50 or 60-40 with vegetarian meat.
Peter, I tried those, and they do taste different to me, but maybe I just haven't tried
It depends.
Maybe I just haven't tried the brand that you've been using.
It's a small company. I don't think that they're exporting worldwide. They're not nearly big enough for that. But at least here in Holland, it's a great alternative to actual meat. You really cannot taste the difference.
That's an interesting product. One thing that really interests me as well is the idea of growing meat in the lab. We've already been able to grow human kidneys in the lab, and they come out completely white. There's no discoloration to them at all, and because they've never been used, right? So, like one of the things that came up years ago, there's this problem with the shark fin soup that's coming mostly from Asian cultures, and there's people who pay an arm and a leg for it. Shark fins don't actually have any flavor, and it's always the soup that gives the flavor, but people want real shark fins. So I'm thinking if they can grow just the shark fins in the lab and sell those on the market, then maybe people will hopefully stop fishing for sharks. Yeah, and that'll be a good step in the right direction. So on this vein, perhaps the same thing can be done with beef and other forms of meat, and then that can be the real thing in a way.
So a couple things, even to counter argue against the alternative meat proposition is that's not even really truly perfected. I mean, the processing that goes into that, the sodium levels that go into that.
Just to clarify, I didn't say it's a solution now. I said it's an idea that interests me.
No. I'm kind of agreeing with you on the point that I'm agreeing with you on the point that maybe natural meat at this point is probably better nutritional wise versus alternative meat. Alternative meat and lab grown meat is not there to that point.
Yep.
But if I was to ask you a moral and ethical question and phrase it this way, that if lab grown meat, let's just whatever we say lab grown meat is to be, lab grown meat in an environmental friendly way, if that was viable right now, and you could get your hot dog, it tastes exactly the same. You can get your steak, tastes exactly the same. Would you choose that? Would you choose same health benefit? Would you be unethical not to choose that over versus an animal being farmed to get that same thing? Mm-hmm. And I would have to say yes. I would honestly have to say yes. And I would think that any ethical person would eventually have to say yes, that I would rather choose this versus an animal being farmed and killed for it.
It would be preferred. I can think of an exception to that where animals are raised in the farm free range because people still like to raise the animals, and then once they die of natural causes, then their meat is used and
okay.
So there's an exception, but I agree.
That's rare.
That really wouldn't be practical for feeding a population.
Yeah,
that would be like
because
the meat's not as good because it loses as the animal ages. The meat's not as good, but yeah.
So another quick question. So I was going to say this is off topic, but did any of you guys watch the Steven Crowder versus Sam Suter crashing the Steven Crowder? Do you guys know who Steven Crowder is? First of all,
I know who he is.
Yeah.
I do not.
Okay, so he's a
political guy,
conservative guy in America. Has roughly 5 million, maybe close to 6 million views on YouTube. Pretty popular on the conservative side of things. Very, anti-politically correct, but almost borderline racist, borderline homophobic, borderline everything you think about the right in America.
Ooh, I didn't know that about him. Holy cow!
Oh yeah.
Now we don't get too political on this channel normally because that's not our shtick, but
it is funny that you say that. I do. Speaking of not being political, you gave me a good transition. Hi, I'm Renato. Welcome as my
Hi, I'm Renato.
We have been Skeptic Bible studying, and we're going to be doing so. I know, Kitty. Hold on one second. For a few more minutes, we got about 10 or 15 more minutes. We're having fun. We've been reading the third book of the Bible, Leviticus. We're almost done it. Oh my goddess. What are your thoughts about the Bible or anything we've been reading today?
Open the window.
That cat is like, I don't care what you're doing. Get over here and open that window.
So I call the cat Prince Darwin because originally she was going to name him like Darwin, and so I was like, you should name him something like Prince, because he apparently rules the apartment. I refer to him as Prince Darwin, but yeah, Prince Darwin is he's definitely in a mood today.
He's better than Haley running the show.
Oh my goddess, let's not even. Why do we have to bring her name up?
You mentioned her.
Isn't it a full moon tonight?
No, man, no.
It's only going to be a full moon if you have P. Mars on the show.
Oh,
Venus Mars?
The full moon, that is.
Yeah, he does the full moon on a regular basis.
Does he team up with Gavin Herleman?
I think he should be because there's no bigger moon. I think. Oh man.
But Anyways,
shout out to Gavin. Amy loves you.
No, don't do that. You don't want him
No.
here. No.
She does. She wants to debate with him.
Oh no, Amy, don't.
I was supposed to debate with him, but he rescheduled it twice.
Is that Gavin Newsom or who's that?
No,
Gavin Herleman.
What's the topic, Amy? The morality of wearing pants. That would be.
What's funny is, Peter, I saw the stream where you confronted him about it. It's like in a stream that's now been deleted, and it was dumpster fire into hell. Right?
Was I in that?
Like Randolph was on that stream as well, as was Oz. And it didn't go well.
Is that the one where he said that I need to take a microscope and look for his nudity, and then I asked him why would I need a microscope to see his nudity?
And then he immediately regretted saying that.
He went all passive aggressive, and we're appearing and disappearing.
I love you guys, but hold on. Like, it's technically this is still my intro, by the way. Love y'all. But
yes, that I feel it's the same. I felt the same for Soldier and Amaretto, but this is technically her intro. We're moving quickly, but Amaretto, what are your thoughts about the chapters we have been reading, or anything we've been talking about tonight?
So yeah, as far as like the consumption of animals and stuff like that, because that's kind of why I jumped in. So, it's definitely not an easy thing because, you know, I am an animal lover. However, I will say this. There are people like me who have had weight loss surgery or, you know, whose bodies are not, we don't have a normal amount of intestine, don't have a normal stomach, stuff like that. So we don't absorb things the same way. So for certain populations, a vegetarian or vegan diet is not going to be sustainable. From my understanding, like when I was doing the research into that, it's very hard to, as a gastric bypass patient, get the, you know, same amount of proteins and stuff like that. Like I have permanent hair loss and thinning and stuff like that because I didn't get enough protein, and I eat meat. So that's a big concern. So
can I say something that I don't want to totally not offend you at all, but in response to that, would humans get to a point where they are obese in the first place if they didn't eat meat?
Yes. So part of the problem with obesity, especially here in America, is because of refined and processed sugars and processed foods. So yes.
So okay, no, that's fair enough. So foods outside of just vegetables or meat. It's
yes,
you know,
it's basically honestly, it's a lot of foods that have
carbohydrates.
But those foods are made from animal products, such as milk.
Yes, but sugar is not an animal product.
Sugar's not. But everything else that's in that product pretty much is.
Lack of exercise also contributes in many cases. And then
we are very
wrestlers too,
because of like the whole. I think part of it too is, you know, the way that we are stuck in office buildings and stuff for a lot of our lives. I think that definitely contributes to it.
There's multiple factors.
Yes, it's not like you know, I don't think you can say there's any one thing. However, I can say confidently that at least for, you know, my case, it's the consumption of processed sugars.
Sure.
That really, you know, processed foods in general, refined and processed foods that really messed me up. I used to weigh.
But what about my question? What about my question about the moral question of if you could substitute everything that you have now without having humans farm and actually kill animals to do that, would you be ethically and morally wrong to choose the animal option versus the non-animal option?
You know, I think that ethically and morally, I think here's the thing. At the end of the day, we are animals. So is it wrong for, a natural predator to consume another animal that it preys upon? I don't think so. I think,
If that animal had the ability to have scientists grow that same animal it would normally kill in the wild, but it could grow it in science in a lab, yes, that animal would. And that's the separation between humans
How
and
do you know
animals.
that? You don't know cats very well, I think.
I was going to say, I'm thinking
I don't think he means it would
cats don't have
necessarily.
scientists. Cats don't have scientists.
I don't think he meant that. I think he meant it would be.
That's what you think.
To your opinion, but I can just say that it's kind of haughty to assume that we're any better than any other animal on this planet per se. Yes, we have increased brain, function and stuff like that. However, at the end of the day, I believe in evolution. We came from apes. We came from the same branch.
Sure.
So in theory, I don't think it is. However, I will say, I'm coming to this, from a position of, do I think it's now? I do like meat substitutes. I've actually started cooking lion's mane mushroom. I like Impossible Burger, plant substitute. Really? I thought it was good.
So my argument wasn't that humans are humans because we're animals.
I understand.
Because animals are better than other animals. My argument is that
but I'm just saying, I think at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think it's an ethics issue, because we're doing anything we can to survive, and it's part of nature. And is nature always fair? Of course not. But I think ethically, you have to put your own, mind you, health and well-being and stuff in order for you to care about others.
Okay.
I think that's the best way.
Isn't his question, though, if you didn't have to survive?
Right,
I think his question is if there was an alternative and if that was off the table.
I mean,
I just put it down. I just put it. My simple argument is same. Your diet right now, the fast food place you go to, the restaurant you go to, everything looks exactly the same. The only difference now is you no longer have to farm and kill an animal to achieve that result. And if that was the case, would you be unethical to choose the farmed killing animal part of that argument? And my answer is yes, you would be. And then furthermore, let me just put this to you guys. 50 years from now, when nobody is eating animals anymore in the United States, or it's probably more like 100 years, but once it gets to that point, because science will achieve that level where we can literally 3D print a meal based,
it sounds good, but
Soylent Green is people.
I'm just saying when we get to that point, and kids that are now being raised and born think it is absolutely horrific that at one point in time we had to kill other animals on the planet to achieve the same thing.
Well,
watch what you just said, though, because if we had to, then no, it's not unethical. And you just said that we had to. I know what you're arguing. I understand your argument. I'm not sure you're framing it as well.
I think if we get to that point, that they'll be tearing down the statues of Barack Obama because he ate animals, and they'll look at all of us as
I don't think
people.
so. Listen, I think this is the thing that you always have to keep. Listen, y'all can think cancel culture is like that. No,
it is.
Not.
Yeah, it is. It is
not. I can speak as a leftist. It is not. Cancel culture is.
Well, I don't want to get into politics like that on.
It doesn't matter what you call it, and it doesn't matter who's doing it.
It's not going to function like that. I'm fairly confident. Someone on the left side who is my side of the aisle is notorious for cancel culture.
Absolutely.
No, it's not I'm on the
left. I'm on the left, and I'm anti-cancel culture as well.
Well, we should do that whole
taking down the
topic.
statues, though, right? The statues of. So now, and I wouldn't call that cancel culture, but I also would not call what he's talking about cancel culture either.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like people are going to. I think at the end of the day, you're going to have to like anthropologically look at the, you can look at things through an ethnocentric lens, sure, of your current culture, but I mean, at the same time, there are certain things that you can look at it and say, well, maybe I can say, see this point and this point.
Yeah.
And certain things like slavery, yeah, of course.
Right.
I'd say that's
exactly.
where it's like, screw that. But, for other things.
And they'll be the same in the future. Just the way we look back at people, they'll look at us.
Exactly.
They'll look at us for slavery, for our incarceration rates. They're going to look, yeah. I'm telling you, it's inevitable.
Let me just parse it down. Do you think there will cross a time in the future history in the next, we'll just say 100 years, that our society will be able to reproduce anything you can eat right now as far as taste and looks without having to kill an animal? Yes or no?
No.
I think
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
On that, because I think it depends on. Well, here's the thing. I think that there are. Listen, I mean, do y'all remember how many people were like up in arms when they cloned Dolly the sheep? So, like,
sure,
I think,
sure.
So I think
Those
that
are all
that's
religious nuts.
I mean, they've been looking for like substitutes to use as fats that are less caloric, but everything they've came up with so far has major side effects and everything. It's just like there's no like free lunch in nature. There's no scientific way to have your cake and eat it too, where we get all the same stuff you would get from meat.
Hold on. Let me just. I want to take like just a minute here because I haven't said much and I've been listening. So there are free lunches. They're rare and few and far between. But for example, antibiotics. And when we created antibiotics, they completely revolutionized medicine, and we don't have to pay anything for them. So technology does give us some in general. And I could easily imagine a set of circumstances where we could create a synthetic food that could give us absolutely everything. And that's all we need is to imagine that just to answer the question. And there are two questions. The first is it okay to kill a living thing? Well, obviously we kill plants anyway, and that has to be on the table. So even the best example of this, we have to kill some things. So the next question is there a way to determine where is that line drawn? It is not a fine line. But the closer something is to a level of consciousness that we have, usually the more we consider it reasonably immoral to do it. So it is this strata, it is a pattern, and once you get to human beings, it is considered under all sets of circumstances immoral to do it. So now that we've established that the more intelligent it is, the more we start to question at what point we draw that line. But cultures change differently, and everybody is going to have a different line. The next question is, if we could produce our food in such a way that we had to kill nothing and we enjoyed it as much and it was this free lunch. Now, this is a hypothetical. I don't think it's worthwhile to say, is it going to happen in 50 years? Because then that becomes the argument. The question isn't when or if we're going to achieve it. The question is, if we do that, then is it ethical to continue to eat meat if every other problem's been solved? And the answer, I believe, has to be no. Under no set of circumstances would it be ethical if we had another alternative. And I agree, if we continue to eat the meat because, hey, why not, then we would be viewed quite harshly by future societies. The reason we aren't necessarily going to be viewed that way now is because right now we don't have a viable alternative. But we are getting to that point. So that is how I would frame this.
And before anyone can respond, hold on, I love you guys. You're all going to be able to respond to the next question. You could do it in your outro because I have to wake up in 3 hours. So we are going to go into, but it's been fun.
You're not woke now?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to be I'm going to be real woke in 3.5 hours in caffeine. Let me tell you. Well, it has been fun. We have been Skeptic Bible Studying, talking about the book of Leviticus. It makes sense that we are talking about animal rights because really, if you took the look at the first hour, it was just abusing animals. So maybe this was a nice opposite of that. And with that, we are moving into... Woohoo! All right. Amaretto, you were the first or the last to join us. That means you're the first to go. We've been having fun Skeptic Bible Studying. Hope you had a good time. What are your thoughts about the chapters, or where could people find you? And what are your thoughts about the chapters or anything that has been spoken about tonight?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Amaretto Kitten, basically yelling into the void. It's still Pride Month, so of course I'm probably still arguing with TERFs, especially now that New Zealand has a trans athlete going to the Olympics. All the TERFs are getting riled up already. It's so wonderful. Kill me now. Yeah, I think, it's an interesting question, and I think just to respond to what Nick said, I think, that's definitely an ideal. And again, I'm trying to move towards that myself. I just think the one concern that I would have is we just have to make sure that any substitute we have is, still produced, in a manner. I don't want to get to a point where it's like Soylent Green, we don't want to have, which to people who don't know, it's basically a food product in a science fiction novel or movie or both. I just remember it from Soylent Green as people. It's basically taking human bodies and making them into food and giving it to people. And I feel that's kind of sketch. But also just making sure that it's safe and, still nutritious for people who may not be the average. We want to make sure that nobody who's disabled or, has a medical disadvantage is like basically left out with whatever replacement that we come up with. And I mean, I'm part of the furry community. We do a lot of fundraising for animals. So, I'm not saying this out of like, I want to kill animals for fun. And in fact, I don't like factory farming. And I think honestly that we should be having more people be involved in raising their food and stuff. I used to have chickens, for example, as a child.
More furries.
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying people, when you're raising your animals or or more involved in the process, you have more respect, I think, for where your food comes from. Look at how much food that we waste. I can tell you, working in the restaurant industry, I saw so many people waste, different food products. And, a lot of them were also meat products. So I think we need to have more reverence and more respect for where our food comes from. And, I'm not going to say, and that society is to the point where we should, nobody should be having to rely on processed and fast food and stuff like that. However, I do think we need to kind of get to a point where, we've gotten to a point in American society where that stuff is just bombarded. Let me tell you what, you don't really necessarily recognize how many restaurants and how many fast food options and just what's thrown at you until you can't eat it all. When I was recovering from weight loss surgery, it was kind of the worst just because I couldn't watch commercials and stuff like that just because it's so bombarded. Food is one of those things that they use to help get you addicted. So I think that we can definitely do a lot better. And I think, we should be more involved in the process of raising and growing our food. That's what I'm trying to teach my 6-year-old right now. And the partner that I'm raising my son with, he's from a farming family. So, at the very least, like I know my kid is going to grow up being able to see where, watermelons and stuff like that, how it's all grown and have a better respect for it. And I think that's one way that we can kind of, move forward. Obviously, if we can find really good substitutes, like I said, I like the Impossible Burger myself. I think that that's definitely a good way forward. I don't think that torturing animals, is a good thing. I will say I eat lobster. I actually do kill my own lobster, but you want to do it in the most respectful way possible, which honestly, like for lobsters, it's just quickly stabbing it in the head. And, you just putting it in the water, that's a little bit more suffering for the animals. So I think if we're going to consume animal products, try and make sure that we're consuming ones that are, dispatched of in as quick as a manner as possible, and that are, in life treated as best as possible. So that's kind of like my thought on that. Also, Steven Crowder is a biatch, and he ran, and it was great. So just to kind of, I saw her what Soldier was saying, and it was like, it's like the whole "Get 'em, Jade" movement. So.
Well, thank you so very much, Amaretto. And
Soviet anthem.
Right.
Anyone else think that we should need a show with Amaretto? We could call it a channel. Call it just a sip of Amaretto.
It's coming.
Would be a thing. See,
that's what she said.
I love you, Peter.
I'm serious. I'm serious. You should have a channel.
Hey,
she's working on it.
I'm working. Trust me. Listen, when I can get Amy to help me out, and maybe I might poke you a little bit too. Like I have things in the works.
Poke me anytime. I'll help you with anything you need. No problem.
I appreciate it, Peter.
You just got to poke him the right way.
Yeah.
My. And okay.
I like being poked.
Oh, we know.
Woo-hoo. Thank
Poke
you
him,
so
Amy.
very much, Amaretto.
And
all right,
Amy, what do you like?
Number one, I do like being on my knees.
That is true.
Forgot.
And okay, we are moving on to Soldier of Science. Soldier, we have been Skeptic Bible studying. I hope you had a fun time. Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
I mean, they can find me on my Soldier of Science channel, which I never post anything to anyway. But I just love joining your guys' show. This was pretty fun tonight. I think initially I wanted to join to talk about Leviticus, which probably also has some crazy rules about food, right? I imagine. And
Absolutely.
but then you guys started talking about animals, and I think I came in and initially told you all I'm not a vegan, I'm not a vegetarian by the least point, and I love fishing. So I have all kinds of strikes against me, and I even grew up as a kid learning how to hunt as well. So all those things while I was making those arguments to you, which might have seemed like it came from a vegan point. And probably the first time I ever came on Amy's show, which I'm always grateful, she lets me come in and just blab about stuff. But I said, I think probably one of the arguments that most atheists, which is probably all of us here, don't really engage in don't engage in is the fact that food literally disproves all of Genesis. It disproves it disproves the entire Bible. The concept of food itself disproves the Bible. That is actually my very best argument. And the reason for that is because an all-knowing God that is creating human beings to live forever before the fall would never even have the concept of food in the first place for those humans to have to eat to survive. There would be when God says to Adam and Eve that you can eat from anything here except from the tree of knowledge or the tree of good and evil, the first thing out of Adam's mouth should have been, what the fuck is food? And why do I need it?
Why eat?
And yeah, why would I have to eat? And if God responded, well, it's really tasty for you, but you know what? You have to process it through your body, and then you actually have to shit it out. And that shit's going to be really stinky. And by the way, I now have to develop your body to have stomach bacteria, to act. to actually process this food.
A liver, kidneys,
all of this stuff,
intestines,
everything,
an asshole.
everything.
Don't forget the asshole, Amy.
All of that. And if you literally, if Adam goes, well, why do I need all that stuff if I'm going to live forever in the first place? And God's next response would be, because I know you're going to fuck me over and eat from that damn tree I put for you in the first place. I told you not to eat. So that's...
No, God, we're not going to do that. We would never do that.
So, and then I think to Amarella, I want, when you, Amarello, is it Amarello? Okay.
Amarillo.
Okay.
Amarello. Okay, cool. So when you were talking about what was it? Soylent? What do you call it?
Soylent Green.
Yeah, Soylent Green. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the movie as well, but you're right. It was about humans basically being turned into food. What I would like to respond to that is, do you know that Tibetan monks, after they die, the other monks put them on the top of the mountain and carve them up with a knife so that vultures can come in and eat the Tibetan monks as their last part of death, so that those birds can fly away with monks in them. And I guess my whole reason for rounding that out is we all draw a line in the sand about what protein we want. And I think Nick pretty much summed up every argument I had in a nice, tight little package, which I can never do. So thank you, Nick, for that.
No worries.
Thank you for that. But yeah, it's exactly that. I think all of us recognize that there is going to come a point in time where we won't need to kill animals for food. And I'm not there yet. I've just admitted to you that I'm not there by any means. And I'm for sure going to come up with some of the same excuses you guys do. And I don't want to say excuses. I want to say, like, you know what? I really haven't researched whether actual animal food is better than this fake meat food. I honestly haven't researched enough to determine if you can get all of your nutrients. One thing I do know is one of the biggest mammals on the planet, a gorilla, is a freaking vegetarian. So there's that, and I think finally, yeah. I mean, there's tons of them that obviously get nutrition out of that. But you're right. We were evolved as omnivores. But it doesn't mean that as we advance as a society and have better science, that we can't get beyond being an omnivore if it means that ethically we no longer have to kill animals to do it. And me as a human growing, I'm 50 years old now. I think I would love in my own personal growth that I could get beyond laziness to get to a point that I could evolve into not having to eat animal products, in all honesty. So that's it.
Thank you so very much. And so, Jamie, I see you back there. I'll let you have like an intro, outro, but I have to go to bed. I am already way past.
It's not going to be a long stream, yeah.
Did you...
Sorry, yeah. What's up? How's it going?
How are you? We have been Skeptic Bible studying. What are your thoughts about anything we've been talking about tonight?
I heard you reading. I was commenting earlier when I didn't catch a lot of it because I was talking to my friend in Australia. But I think you were talking about what was it? About Aaron and his sons, and they had to be clean, ritually clean and stuff. And then you were talking about menstruation and
flesh running.
Yeah. I pretty much gave you my opinion on that, I think, already, but I was itching to respond to what I just heard about I don't know if you're joking about the Adam and Eve eating thing. I don't know. I wasn't sure if that was like tongue in cheek or not, but I just wanted to mention I would start your vegan journey with Smokey Saint and his vegan pig farm. Then see, because if we have to make more food to supplement our protein, which by the way, I think is an honorable idea, and I do think that's borrowed from the Christian idea of ethical standards at their best. But I would say lentils is your best bet. And then I'd also say the last thing I'd say is if we farm a bunch of food to supplement the protein for all the humans' diets, the amount of animals that would be getting killed by the farming equipment and the farming would probably be, and the displacement would probably be more animal suffering than otherwise, especially if we went back to ethical farming practices. And and that's it.
That's not me.
That's James.
Mushrooms too. Mushrooms are also very good.
Did he just? Did someone just?
Did he leave?
Nick just dropped and he came back.
Nick just okay.
And Jamie.
Okay,
There we
people.
Got Soldier
Can't
Science
tell.
on full screen.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Jamie. And okay,
Thank you, Jamie.
we're just gonna move right down the line. If that is the last thing, I think that's the.
I think he was done.
And Randolph.
Amy, you're off screen.
I am, but then
She is
now
this.
Randolph is on screen.
Problem solved.
Woo-hoo. And okay, Randolph, we have been Skeptic Bible studying, and then it makes sense. We went from talking about killing animals to animal rights and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a good, fun night. I hope you enjoyed it. Where can people find you? What's your final thoughts?
And do you wear pants?
I do. Yeah, the pants thing. SOS. Take a look at the private chat. I put a little explanation there for you. Some background. It seems to me that the Bible contains an awful lot of killing, and they don't just stop with humans. They cover all types of animals, and it's just so destructive. And I think this is just more par for the course. So, and we see Islam doing this as well, but I know we're not covering that right now. So I don't want to take up too much of your time here, Amy, because I know you need to go to sleep soon. So I'll just quickly mention I'm running an organization called Canadian Atheists. We advocate for atheism and for atheists in Canada. Our website address is www.canadianatheists.ca. We also have a campaign that is promoting the normalization of atheism in society at www.normalizeatheism.ca. You can take a look at that to see what this non-confrontational and gentle approach is about. And I hope that more people will join on with it, because I think this will be good for the whole world. There's also the True North Talk call-in program, the Atheism call-in program across Canada that I've just completed building the major parts of the roof today. So a lot of progress there has been had. You can find out more about this call-in program. It's not running yet, but once the studio is built, then Neil, the 604 Atheist, and myself will be co-hosting it. The website for that is www.truenorthtalk.ca. I also have a YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Randolph Richardson. And remember, Randolph is spelled Randolf. Thank you very much, Amy, for having me on.
Randolph.
Putting my links up on this.
This is the guy who's the head of Canadian Atheists.
Thank you.
I
I
mean,
was
have
waiting
you
for
ever
somebody to
heard,
say
and
that.
you're going to have to excuse me, folks, have you ever heard such a dumb fuck in your whole life?
You're so well organized, Amy. I do appreciate it. And this is always so much fun. It's always such a delight. And thank you to everyone here and everyone in the audience for tuning in. Really appreciate you all being here.
Did everybody hear what the doofus Randolph Richardson just said?
Oh, poor Randolph triggered old Darth.
Oh dear.
And okay, Pierre,
it's me.
we're moving along. It's you. I hope you had a good time tonight. We've been Skeptic
In his
Bible
log cabin there.
studying, getting our Leviticus on. Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
It's like he's a cabin in the woods.
Before everyone's going to tune out with what I have to say and show, and well, you'll see. You can find me at Gonna Go For It. As you can see, we're planning a new show. This is the new show thingy. We're opening it up to other people who can have a conversation or debate or whatever you want to call it. And I'm still hoping to have Randolph kick that one off. So we need to
let's make that happen. Yes,
to make that happen. Yeah. Okay, so Leviticus. That was the part in the Bible with all the rules and where, it's. So, what are my thoughts? My thoughts are that the Christians apparently don't read their Bible well enough, because you've got people like let's say Otangelo and Darth, who seem to have skipped a few things. And Otangelo, what's your favorite thing?
I would like to have a role play.
Oh yeah, I know. and Darth.
You got to give kudos to Otangelo, because he does a great acting job.
Yeah, I know, and it goes further, doesn't it, Otangelo?
I'll love to be spanked by you there.
I love hearing you squeal, Otangelo. You know.
Oh dear.
It's a love story.
Yes, but so let's get back to the Bible, and it's going to be graphic. So for people who don't want to see this, please turn away your eyes, because I want to talk about the blood of Jesus. And so recently I was sent some imagery from a church, which I want to share with everyone. And
was Jesus type
it is, see, the blood of Jesus cleansed us. And so this is where Christians go to worship. And what's more worrying, they take their children there. There's no audio with this, but there is a good godly song being played constantly in front of this monstrosity. So
looks like a warning song.
When it comes to morality, I do not think that the Christians have the higher ground. And if you're going to read the Bible, it's all about killing people, killing animals. Fun part is that the animals that are being killed are going to be eaten by the priests in the temple, so at least they get a good meal out of it. There are also parts in the Bible where God not only condones but orders cannibalism, which may be a solution for world hunger. I don't know, but yeah. So come check us out. Gonna go for it. For me later today, I will be hosting on AJ's channel, by the way, Atheist Junior, who's going to have Jackson Wheat on. On Sunday, I'm going to produce another Quran lessons with Anra, because we had to rein it back in. We skipped a week. And then we found ourselves doing a show on the 4th of July, which is probably not a good day to do a show on, because not a lot of people will be watching. They will try to blow their fingers off or something. So that's going to be this Sunday on our Ross channel. We're also planning to have an old guest back, Joseph Nolla, who's a Jesuit priest, and we had a terrific conversation with him a while back. So people might want to watch that. For those who don't believe in evolution, we just did a show where Jackson Wheat was my co-host, and we talked to an Australian who didn't understand evolution. I think was more than just rejecting it. So that would be my thing. And my last word would be like and subscribe to this channel. It says it right there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So do that, please.
Now, didn't Otangelo say something about being ball hurt once?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hurt now. I'm ball hurt now.
Yeah. And it probably was me. What?
Bad Peter.
Yeah, I know. But are you okay, Otangelo?
Well, I just was going to say that when the stream ends, I'll go and check if everything is still in place. I hope.
Yeah,
so.
that might be a good thing. So yeah, and keep an eye out for Amaretto, because if she's going to make a channel, I'm going to subscribe.
Oh, I'll subscribe.
She has a channel. I've been waiting to advertise it. but she doesn't have any content on it. I have it in a banner, and she can see that I have it in a banner.
I'll put it in the subscribe anyway.
But eventually, it's coming. That's what she said.
We need to make that happen.
I'm sure she is.
The world can do with a little amaretto. Just say.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words. And Randolph and everybody else too. I really appreciate you putting up with my theist self. So
Putting up. I think you don't need to use those words.
Amy, last thing. Simon's Funk wants something. I want to say something.
Can someone get this ugly fucker off my screen, please?
Thank you, Simos. And woohoo! Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, Nick, we have been Skeptic Bible studying. I think we were originally murdering animals, and then we were trying to save them. So we came full circle. I hope you had a good time. Where can people find you? What are your final thoughts?
So I one of the things I thought was interesting, I got my undergraduate in philosophy, so I listen sometimes a little differently to discussions, and so we also like with what is it with I forgot Sunflower breaking down his arguments without saying I agree or disagree. I at least usually pretty quickly catch what the arguments are. But I was thinking of becoming a monk at one point. I'm not kidding. I was also rather religious, but I do appreciate the knowledge of what happens to monks with the vultures, and have decided that I have probably made the correct vocational choice. So I appreciate that. I also think that what was it? Beyond convenience is a great slogan for processed artificial meat. So we'll look for beyond convenience. But at any rate, thank you very much for the discussion. I enjoyed it as always. I have a news, politics, and culture channel. It's called In Time. We do interviews. Aaron Ra, Dillahunty, Richard Carrier. We've had on a whole bunch of them, and all sorts of people in between. We discuss a lot of topics. We talk, usually the social sciences. We talk about I must be more tired than I thought.
Taco Tangelo.
Well, he's come up more than once on our Discord, and he was on our Discord for a little while. But we found him very difficult now because it's ours is an educational show, so we afforded him the maximum we really could, but it got difficult. At any rate, and if the talk of having him back for a call-in show, I'm not sure how serious that was, but we're discussing it.
Do it.
And we also have a news program, do live breaking news, and if there's a event of national significance in the U.S., we're usually carrying it live, so that's what we do. So it's called In Time. There's the link. I hope you guys will consider going to it, and that's what we do. So thank you very much.
We're already there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so very much, Nick.
Go subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, you actually joined because we covered there was a rather serious storm going through the Chicago suburbs, and we carried most of that live, and that was an interesting night. So, but I
one of my partners is out in Detroit for the week, so I was like, oh my goodness, but I would have had no idea it was going on if I hadn't gotten the notification for overtime. So I appreciate you covering that, because no national news program was covering it.
Well, and that's what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of either the ones that are still important and aren't covered for whatever reason, and or the times we beat those programs, which I should write down because I always forget. The one I always go to is when Iran attacked Iraq and started throwing missiles into the green zone, and we beat almost every U.S. news organization. The only one we didn't beat was Fox all at once, but and then we beat most of them to discovering what had downed the Ukrainian airliner. And we scooped a whole bunch more, and I love it when we do that. I should write down a list so I don't have to try to go from memory, because I always forget we do so many shows. But and because we're on that one too, what you saw too was we dive deep into social media, so news organizations won't normally do that. we go and we say, okay, here's a live stream of what's happening right now. Here's a live stream of this, that. And you can usually see pretty well what's going on. We try to give a pretty good overview. But thank you very much, Amaretto. I appreciate that.
You better subscribe because then $600 suits don't pay for themselves.
Son of a fucking... And the other thing is I try to be professional on that show, but I don't have to be professional here. James, go to fucking hell, you son of a motherfucker.
Oh, we love you, Nick.
I was going to say Oz isn't here, but you're still getting flack.
I know! It's my fault because I opened with that, of course. But
reminds me of the time Amaretto's name was Bite Me, James.
I love you, James.
I wonder why.
So Amaretto needs media networks to keep track of all her partners. She's got like a map, and she's got she doesn't know where they all are.
We should go because
my black book isn't that big, but I appreciate that you think I'm that much of a suave person. So
just goes based on what we hear, but I'm sure.
And all right, James, I'm handing you the keys.
Don't do it. Too much rum. No, I'm actually fine. Good, interesting conversation. Kind of a very dry chapter of the Bible tonight, but we ended up with some interesting conversations. Yeah, someone mentioned the monks. I think there's actually a sect of monks that are able to live mummify themselves just based on their diet, so that when they die, their bodies are already in such a state of preservation that they don't decay. Think so. Check that out. It probably would have been a good idea, Nick, if you alter your diet in a certain way, then they won't have to embalm you after you're dead. And
fun fact, these monks have a tiny little bell, and then they will check in with the monks to see whether or not they're still alive, and if the monk goes, then he's still alive.
Praise the Dalai Lama. Interesting discussion going into the annals of veganism and human consumption of meat. For instance, there are animals who do only eat a vegetarian diet that are much larger than humans. The only thing is they spend probably 80% of their time eating, like the panda bears that eat almost exclusively bamboo, but you will see them spend about 18 hours of their day actually eating to try to get enough calories to live. So, one day, hopefully we will be able to come up with something that will replicate meat, that will allow humans to move beyond that has all the positive things, but without any of the drawbacks. Doesn't seem like we're too close to that, but maybe one day when we get there. But I still don't think it will save us from being canceled in the future. I think we're all doomed to that because that's just how it goes. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming along with us. Let's let Amy get to bed because she's got to be up in a couple hours.
Thank you so very much, James.
Oh, yes.
Well, it has been a fantastic conversation. We are almost out of Leviticus.
But like I said, we'll have to keep going back because it's so great.
I know, so much wisdom. I hope you all had a fun night on this episode of our Skeptic Bible Study. Oh, blemish my sacrifice. Where God laid down another big helping of priestly rules, including guidelines for what their slaves can eat, along with the kitchen specifics for how a deity likes their animal sacrificed.
Hold on, let me check the other side of that goat's nutsack. Let me make sure it doesn't have a blemish under there.
I want to thank my co-host James W. with our guests Nick, Peter, Randolph, Soldier of Science, Amaretto, and Jamie Russell, along with our viewers, the lovely people in chat, and our mods who make this stream so great. If you'd like to support the show making more fun content, feel free to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. Woo-hoo! I'm Amy Newman, and we will see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z.
Good night, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.